them to put his hands up. He did not comply. He then produced a handgun. The officers discharged their firearms.
No officers were injured in that incident, but a short time later, a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy is shot in the leg by someone in a moving vehicle near Atlanta City Hall.
Right now, the perp is still at large, and we have every resource available to us looking for this particular individual, or individuals, plural.
Sheriff Pat Labatt says the deputy was responding to an officer's call for assistance. The deputy now in stable condition and expected to recover. It is 66 degrees at 9:01. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. The Hall County girl who says a man tried to snatch her at a bus stop this week has recanted that story.
Her story had a lot of detail.
Missing his upper front. He's about 6 feet tall. He's a white man. He may have been under the influence of alcohol, not wearing any shoes.
Now the Hall County Sheriff's Office says it was just her imagination. The 12-year-old girl who said a stranger grabbed her arm at her East Main Street school bus stop admits that never happened. Investigators now believe a neighbor spoke to her from his porch. She got scared, ran home, and made up the kidnapping story. The sheriff says they will connect the girl and her family with services and won't press charges. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
A mass honoring the life of Pope Francis filling the sanctuary at Christ the King in Buckhead. This worshiper thankful for the Pope's message of unity.
Pope Francis did a great job staying true to the Bible, but trying to also include all types of Christians, genders, everybody.
The service bringing together people from different backgrounds and religions, including local rabbis and Islamic leaders. Over 200,000 people are expected to attend the Pope's funeral tomorrow at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome. And you can listen to it live tomorrow morning beginning at 4 a.m. right here on 95.5 WSB. Two popular coaches at Cobb County's Campbell High School are getting their jobs back. There was a huge outcry when James Gwynn and Randy McClure were told they'd be out of jobs at the end of this school year. Superintendent Chris Ragsdale giving an update on Thursday.
We concluded that investigation, and based on the results, I recommended Coach McClure and Coach Gwynn be offered contracts for rehire by the Cobb County School District for school year 25-26.
And they have accepted and signed those new contracts, meaning they will be back on the sidelines at the school next year in the gym that was named in honor of the two coaches in 2019. Several big events this weekend are focusing on raising awareness and money for cancer research. At Hartsfield-Jackson today, Delta employees will take part in the Jet Drag fundraiser. Delta's Anthony Black explains the goal for the 25-person teams.
Pull is a 125,000-pound aircraft, 25 feet.
And the speed is the name of the game for the 180 teams competing to drag that Boeing 757. Tonight, the Rally Foundation holds their annual Rally on the Runway at the Georgia Aquarium. There, kids battling cancer are joined by members of the Atlanta Falcons as the models for a runway fashion show.
The kids will come and everyone is all dressed up. They will have a great time and the kids will get, hair and makeup.
Rally CEO Dean Crow says the goal tonight is to raise $1 million for pediatric cancer research. And several metro area counties will be hosting Relay for Life events on Saturday. That signature fundraiser for the American Cancer Society has raised almost $7 billion since it began 40 years ago. It is 9:04. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes, but right now it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather together. Triple team traffic with Smile and Mark McKay.
Still holding on delays through DeKalb County. Graham on I-20 westbound leaving Panola Road, exit 71. May have a crash in that work zone before Wesley Chapel Road. East side perimeter is not cleared out yet. We still have a slow zone out of Tucker, 285 north, rolling up toward Chamblee Tucker Road and across the north side perimeter, 285 sluggish, Peachtree Boulevard in the Dunwoody, and 285 eastbound leaving I-75 into Sandy Springs. 400 is pretty much cleaned up from that debris removal. All lanes had to be held to do it, though. 400 northbound near the North Springs MARTA station. You're still watching those brake lights in the Midtown, downtown Atlanta, Chinway, Maponia, Cook.
And they're still there. I-75, 85 northbound. Your slowing begins right at University Avenue. Once you get to the Grady curve, you're going to run into merging madness, hitting the brake lights. That's until you reach Freedom Parkway, where you'll get some reprieve, and it's a smooth ride into Midtown. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today, high 79. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms develop through the afternoon and evening hours.
It's 65 degrees in Clarkston, 67 degrees in Ackworth, and 66 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
I don't know what it is, but I am absolutely dragging this Friday morning. Gonna need the crew to help pick me up. Got a big show for you today. By the way, Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. We're going to go to Rome, get the final preparations and the preview of Pope Francis's funeral. You heard Graham mention we're going to start our coverage live tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. as Pope Francis is laid to rest. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to go live to the White House. Tom Dempsey from News Nation on the latest negotiations, in the Russia-Ukraine war. Political analyst Bill Crane join us live at 10:35. And coming up in about an hour and 12 minutes-ish, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. I got to start off, though, the show today. Quick update on the NFL draft. What a great night for Atlanta Falcons fans and for Dog Nation. I was staying up watching the draft, waiting for the Falcons pick at 15.
With the 15th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Walker, defensive end, Georgia.
Yes, it finally happened. The Falcons took a stud from UGA in the first. I've been waiting so long for this to happen. 15th pick, Jalen Walker, linebacker from Georgia. Go Dogs. Drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. Like, that's just like, mwah, mwah. I'm so used to being disappointed in the drafts, mostly because I'm a New York Giants fan. Were you pumped, Vinny, when the Falcons made that pick?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great pick.
That's a great pick. Yeah, finally, the Falcons like, hey, the Eagles keep drafting all these Bulldogs, and they're winning Super Bowls. Let's do it. So, I was so happy.
They listen to you, man.
They'd listen. Yeah, Arthur Blank listened to me, finally. We'll see if he drafts Nick Jackson today, now. So as soon as that pick, Deborah, hit, I was like, that was like at 9:30-ish something. The draft, it drags on. That's why I'm dragging. But as soon as that pick happened in Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, I was like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. So I didn't go to bed too late. But I was after that, I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. And I missed the fireworks of my New York Giants. They drafted who I wanted them to draft with the 3rd overall pick, Abdul Carter from Penn State. And then they traded up into the 1st round and got the quarterback I wanted, Jackson Dart. But you don't care about my Giants. You care about the Georgia Bulldogs. So as predicted, there were not 1, not 2, but 3 Georgia Bulldogs picked in the 1st round of the draft yesterday, including pick number 11.
With the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Michael Williams, defensive end, Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, that Georgia defense is just so well known. And then there was, again, I was sleeping, so I wasn't on the edge of my seat, but it was like, oh, all right, there's 2 Georgia Bulldogs picked after the Falcons took Jalen with the 15th pick. Are we going to see another one? And I was already sawing logs when pick 27 was announced by Commissioner Goodell.
With the 27th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks, defensive back, Georgia.
Go Dogs. First off, that might be the coolest first name. Malachi. I think I'm going to change my name to Malachi. Malachi Aram. Right? That just hits. My Jewish name, by the way, is my Hebrew name is Mordecai. So it's close. Oh. Malachi, Mordecai, Mark. Kind of boring. But yeah, I think that's great. 3 Georgia Bulldogs drafted in the 1st round. Just shows you the defensive factory that Coach Kirby Smart is producing up there in Athens. And finally, the Atlanta Falcons select a University of Georgia standout in the 1st round. I think it's going to be huge. Because, listen, we're the home of the Dogs. You know, Dogs fans are rabid. And now, maybe if Dogs fans were Mets on going to the Falcons games, like, I don't know if I want to. Now you've got your star there. You got the stud rusher from Georgia at the Falcons campus, which is phenomenal. So I'm very excited about that. I guess the biggest story, this is the last thing I'm going to say about the draft, Ken. Don't come in here. Shedeur, Deion's son, did not get drafted in the 1st round, which is kind of surprising. But anyway, I'm very excited. Big draft night for everyone here in Georgia. 3 Bulldogs taken in the 1st round, and the Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Carter with the 15th overall pick. Good news there. That might be the end of the good news portion of this program. Joining us live from Investopedia ABC News, Caleb Silver. Caleb, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good to be with you as always.
Stark warning from the airline industry yesterday. What can you tell us?
Yeah, almost every single major airline is saying they can't give a forecast for this current quarter because they just don't have enough visibility in terms of travel bookings, especially the bigger carriers. We're talking about American, Delta, United saying, hey, we can't give you a forecast. United saying it's either going to be really bad or so-so, and American saying we're just not going to do it because they're not getting these long-term bookings, this discretionary travel. That's luxury, that's business travel, 2, 3, 4 month bookings in advance. So they're just saying we just don't know what capacity is going to be like. We just know people are planning on spending less, especially on the wants, not the needs.
So this all went down on earnings calls, right? Where like American Airlines, I guess they have a group call with their investors, and they normally give their forecast. And the terminology again they use, they couldn't provide a forecast.
Yeah, it's called guidance, and companies aren't required to provide it. But over the last 10 or so years, companies, when they report their quarterly earnings, that's like their quarterly report cards, they say, this is what we think revenue is going to look like. This range from $5 billion to $6.5 billion, or profit's going to be from X to Y, and they're just not doing it lately. Why do they do that? So that they can give analysts who cover the stock some ammunition to say, hey, looks like profits are going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to put a buy rating on this stock. Well, they haven't been doing that lately, so analysts have not been providing forecasts either, which tells you what's happening inside the stock market as well. So much choppiness because of the uncertainty, whether you're talking about a big company like Apple selling iPhones, an airline selling airline seats, or a Chipotle selling burrito bowls and burritos. They cannot give you a clear forecast of what's going to happen.
Cale, you might have answered this question in a roundabout way that I'm about to ask, but how rare is it that a company won't, like American Airlines, won't provide a forecast for earnings, future earnings?
Pretty rare, and we haven't been in this type of environment since the pandemic when really nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
We're kind of in that type of a lack of visibility mode right now, and so much of it has to do with tariffs, because tariffs, whether they are real, threatened, or potential, do have this psychological impact of consumers knowing that prices are going up no matter what. Consumer expectations for inflation, by the way, the highest since 1981. That tells you that we feel like prices are going higher. When we feel like that's going to happen, A, we save more, which is good. The personal savings rate's higher. B, we spend less. Not good, because our spending, consumer spending, is 70% of U.S. GDP.
Wow, that's huge. Caleb Silver, Investopedia, ABC, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. So American Airlines had their earnings call. Southwest has already cut a bunch of flights, and they withdrew this year's financial outlook as well. I got to ask, since we're in Atlanta, any update from our hometown airline, Delta Airlines, on what they are forecasting or projecting going forward?
Yeah, they gave zero forecast. They were among the first companies to report quarterly earnings this season, and that was a couple of weeks ago. They said, can't give you a forecast, don't know, especially on the luxury travel, especially on the international travel. We're just not seeing the bookings right now. Maybe they'll come back, but until they do, we're just not going to tell you what we think revenue and profit's going to look like this quarter.
All right, so obviously uncertainty for the airlines. You know, they don't know what's going to happen with travel, cutting flights. I know that a couple of the airlines are reducing their schedules drastically. Is there any way that we as travelers could take advantage of this? Could this be a good news to get cheaper seats and maybe fly to destinations that we previously never thought of going to?
Yeah, the silver lining is you'll probably see some discounts. You'll probably see some promotions. You'll probably see those promotions for international travel, where we've seen the biggest pullback, according to Delta, United, and American. But you're also going to see them for those small hub flights in the United States that are serviced by the Southwest and the JetBlue Airlines of the world. You're going to see some super deals when you don't normally see them during the summer, because they're trying to get butts in seats, so to speak, so they can fill their airlines and meet their profit forecasts, even if they're internal and not providing them to us.
Will there be any impact domestically with China canceling all those Boeing jets that they had ordered, or is that just strictly a Boeing manufacturing issue?
Yeah, that's a Boeing problem. Those are what we call long-term orders. So those are, they're not ordering them for next week. They're ordering them for next year, the end of this year, to replace their fleet. They're still going to fly. So that's an impact on Boeing itself. But what you are seeing is less cargo ships bringing Chinese goods into the United States in general. It has nothing to do with the airlines. But if you talk to Walmart, Target, and some of the major retailers, they're saying we're going to have just less stuff on our shelves. Some of that's because we're just not going to bring it in from China. Some of that is because of demand destruction, because people just aren't spending like they used to.
Final question for you, Caleb. Anything we can learn from the latest jobless numbers?
Yeah, we got weekly jobless claims around 222,000 for this week. I would pay more attention to a week from now when we get the April jobs report. That'll tell us that the unemployment rate is rising. It popped up to 4.2% last month, still pretty low.
Yeah.
But if we start creeping to 4.3, 4.5, you'll start to hear the drumbeat get louder about the Fed cutting rates sooner, which the Fed doesn't want to do. Why? Because it generates more inflation, and we know more inflation is coming in the form of these tariffs. So tricky spot for the Fed, but that's something I would watch closely.
I lied. I have one more follow-up question, Caleb.
Keep it coming.
Do we know the economic impact yet of the Falcons drafting Jalen Walker, the linebacker from Georgia? Ticket sales, concession sales. Do we know what the economic impact would be for that amazing draft pick?
Yeah, well, congratulations to the city and the entire state. You got a new poster outside your stadium, a lot of merchandise sales, and probably some big, some sold-out arenas coming your way. So good for you. Hopefully that team delivers this year. It's been a while, and he's a great pick. And looks like that team is getting into nice shape.
Very excited. Very excited here in Atlanta. Caleb Silver, as always, appreciate your time, brother.
You got it. Thank you.
There you go. All right, so try to end on a positive note. Airlines not giving out any forecasts. We don't know what's going to happen with travel. We don't know how many seats we're going to fly. We don't know how many routes we're going to cut. Crazy story. We will update the markets when they open, by the way, at 9:35. I do want to go to Rome, Italy, though, as we wrap up the 9-day mourning period for the Pope. Ben Wiedemann from CNN back in Rome this morning.
I think we have more people here around the Vatican and St. Peter's Square and the roads leading up to it than we've seen before. Keeping in mind, of course, today is a national holiday in Italy. It's Liberation Day, so many people who might otherwise be working have come to the Vatican to pay their respects to Pope Francis. Now, the doors to the Basilica will be closed at 6 p.m. local time to the public in preparation for tomorrow's funeral that will take place at 10 o'clock in the morning, a local time. Now, tomorrow is going to be an incredible day, Kate, because Pope Francis is not being buried in St. Peter's Basilica itself, as has been the case with Pope Benedict XVI and John Paul II. He is going to be buried in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, which is 3.75 miles from here. And his procession will be going through the streets of Imperial Rome. So it'll go through Piazza Venezia, by the Roman Forum, by the Colosseum, before it goes up to the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore. So that's going to be an incredible scene, the likes of which we haven't seen in my lifetime in Rome. So that's going to be something worth watching. Now, we understand that tomorrow for the funeral, there will be 130 delegations from around the world attending, with 50 heads of state and 10 reigning monarchs. And in addition to that, of course, because of all of those VIPs coming and the tens of thousands of people expected to be in St. Peter's Square, as well as along the procession route, the Italian authorities have mobilized 2,000 police officers, 400 traffic policemen. There are anti-terror squads undercover operating. There are anti-drone units as well operating in this area. So this is going to be a massive occasion tomorrow. And just looking at the number of people out here, the numbers are going to be just incredible.
Indeed. Ben Wiedemann this morning in Rome for CNN. 200,000 people expected to attend the funeral on Saturday. Again, we'll have coverage here on WSB Radio starting at 4 a.m. And President Trump will be attending the funeral of the Pope. We'll check in with White House correspondent John Decker in just a little bit. Coming up next on the Mark Arum Show. Bad news for fans of the nose candy. A huge cocaine seizure. Deborah's going to tell you about that after we check traffic. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Not so good right now in DeKalb County with a crash working in the right lane. The DOT tells me it looks like it's moving to the right shoulder as we speak, though. I-20 westbound right past Panola Road, exit 71. So sluggish, though, as you leave Turner Hill Road and try to make your way through Lithonia and Stonecrest. Also getting a little slow in Marietta with right lane roadwork set up 75 northbound at North Bearden Parkway, exit 265. This report is brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide for BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Morning rush hour.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median.
Evening rush
It
hour.
is an absolute mess.
And everything in between.
Also, bring the speeds down. The rain is falling on 75 and 575.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Rain means trouble for your roof, and when it does, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issue. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing. Hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Is IP Freely here?
Hey, everybody, I pee freely. Okay, folks, show's over. Nothing to see here.
That's Mo the bartender, Chief Wiggum. Happy birthday, 61st birthday to Hank Azaria, who has been on the show a couple of times. Incredibly talented dude. So many voices on The Simpsons. I think, Deborah, he was married to Helen Hunt. But I think, yeah, but I think they split up. But talk about talent. He is amazing. All right, again, I'm just using this story because I like to play this sounder that's been sitting on the shelf for a long time. This is a narco-sized cocaine seizure, Deborah. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, this is huge. So the Coast Guard offloaded about 19,000 pounds of cocaine off of the coast of San Diego. I know. They're valuing it to be about $214 million. And this came from Mexico and several countries in South America. And after they seized it all, they took all the smugglers' boats, set them on fire, sunk them, and then detained about 18 of the suspects.
What do they do with 19,000 pounds of cocaine? Like,
how do you destroy
You can't
it?
flush it. You see, I remember the scene in Goodfellas where Karen was cutting open the bag of cocaine and putting it in the toilet. Yeah. You can't do that with 19. Too bad our drug czar Longoria is off on vacation because he could actually tell us what the actual street value of. But again, I'm not lying, no experience or anything. But isn't cocaine sold by grams, little tiny? It's not like weed where you can get an ounce or
the bricks from Narcos.
Yeah, but that's 19,000 pounds of cocaine. All right, good job, DEA. Good job taking that off. Season 9 of Narcos. What to do with 19,000 pounds of cocaine. All right, we got news, weather, and traffic straight ahead. The markets are about to open. We'll keep an eye on them. Hopefully, Wall Street can end on a high note today. But when we get back, we're going to go live to the White House. Tom Dempsey from News Nation is going to join us live there, updating the on-again, off-again, on-again talks in the Russia-Ukraine war. Still to come on the show, around 10:18, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Chance for you win $1,000. And at 11:35, Deborah's got our final pair of tickets, I believe, this week anyway, to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Live to the White House next. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Trust is not just a word. It's an experience. When your home needs service, you can trust TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. TE is the company I trust to fix any problem once and for all, and I don't say that lightly. I really do love my home. It's my baby. My family lives there. When somebody's there working, I can hover a little bit. I can supervise a little bit. They love that. I usually worry a little bit too, but with TE Certified, I don't have to do any of that. They actually love my home too. I am a TE certified customer, so I speak from my own experience when I say you can trust them too. Their 5-star customer experience means easy online scheduling, friendly technicians, a lifetime workmanship warranty. When TE's at the Chandler house, I just sit back and relax, let them handle everything. When it comes to my home, trust matters.
TE certified, we love your home.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 9:30. Good morning. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top local story, reports of cyber crimes in Georgia jumped 40% last year. The state now ranking 7th in the country with more than $420 million stolen. FBI Atlanta Special Agent in Charge Paul Brown says cyber crimes against the elderly continue to surge.
And losses in Georgia reported by seniors went from $92 million in 2023 to $174 million in 2024.
Phishing scams remain the most reported cybercrime, followed by extortion, and cryptocurrency scams more than doubled last year. No decision yet, but an Atlanta federal judge is considering an extension of protections for more than 100 international students who had their visas canceled.
Due process is at the heart of this case, and Atlanta immigration attorney Charles Cook says a lot is at stake.
So for those that are fighting to stay, kudos to them. This takes a lot of guts to do this, and it takes a lot of courage to do this, to stand up to the U.S. government.
The government continues to argue that no real harm has been done to the plaintiffs and urged the judge to rule on the 26 Georgia students or dismiss the motion entirely. There's currently a temporary restraining order in place on the cancellations. Judge Victoria Calvert says she will make a ruling before that order expires at the end of next week. At federal court, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The GBI is investigating a fatal officer-involved shooting in Fulton County.
Fulton County police officers spotted a group of men loitering in the MLK Drive Citgo parking lot.
Known drug activity goes on there.
Major Ken Shearley says one man fled on foot, then got in his car and turned on the engine.
The officers ordered them to put his hands up and turn off the vehicle. He did not comply. He then produced a handgun.
All three officers shot the suspect, who was rushed to the hospital where he died. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
In a separate incident, a short time later, a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy is shot in the leg after responding to a call for officer assistance at Forsyth and Trinity Streets. A suspect firing from a moving vehicle, police actively searching for that individual. The deputy hospitalized in stable condition. Russia's foreign minister says his country is ready to make a deal to end the war with Ukraine, but he admits some parts of the deal need to be fine-tuned. Correspondent Nancy Cordes says President Trump has been critical of Vladimir Putin for the latest airstrike against Ukraine, but is sending some mixed signals.
When he was asked what he thinks Russia is prepared to give up in this negotiation, he basically made it sound like he doesn't expect Russia to give up much at all.
Trump has also leveled more criticism at Ukrainian President Zelensky for not being willing to give up territory seized by Russia. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to meet this weekend with Putin in Moscow. Workplace satisfaction is on the decline, according to Gallup's latest State of the Global Workplace report, offering a stark assessment of the cost of employee disengagement.
Gallup has attempted to quantify worker engagement and then to plot that on a map. Employee disengagement last year cost the world economy an estimated $438 billion in lost productivity.
Correspondent Jim Ryan says the report finds that only 1 in 3 workers in America feels emotionally invested in their jobs. It is 9:33, and it's time for a check of traffic and weather together. Mike Shields live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
We grab better news with a crash falling into Cobb County for the last 15 minutes. Had a right lane block, but now that is cleared. I-20 westbound past Panola Road exit 71, and the delays quickly gone as well as you try to leave Lithonia and Stonecrest getting to I-285. Getting sluggish, though, in Marietta with right lane roadwork I-75 northbound at North Marietta Parkway. Delays start back at South Marietta Parkway, and a little sluggish from South Loop as you travel 75 southbound getting down to I-285. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms through the late afternoon and evening hours. High 79. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow drying out, though still partly to mostly cloudy. High 82. Partly cloudy on Sunday. Morning low 61. Afternoon high 83.
It is 66 degrees in Lawrenceville, 67 in Fairburn, and 67 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, WSB is looking for a home for Bento. Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News. He is our dog of the month with Paws Atlanta. We're looking for Bento's new family after his owner gave him up an adorable puppy. Loved to play when we met him. You meet him at WSBRadio.com. Our sponsor, Findlay Roofing, pays the adoption fee to WSBRadio.com/dog.
Sounds from Rome this morning still to come. We'll preview the papal funeral. Next, though, we go live to the nation's capital. Correspondent Tom Dempsey joins us live 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
As Georgia's homegrown leader in business insurance, Builders partners with thousands of local businesses to safeguard workers and help them return to their lives after injuries. Explore reliable workers' compensation solutions at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Join D. Geller & Son Jewelers, Fur Kids Animal Rescue, and my good friend Katie Kiley this Sunday, April 27th, at both D. Geller & Son locations for a dog and puppy adoption drive. D. Geller & Son is donating a portion of proceeds from all jewelry sold on Sunday to Fur Kids. Plus, if you find your new best friend, we'll cover the adoption fees and send you home with a free diamond necklace. That's this Sunday, April 27th, at both D. Geller & Son locations. Katie's hanging out with us in Sandy Springs. Learn more at dgeller.com.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DIN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on Heritage Farm bone-in split chicken breast. On sale now for only $1.79 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
9:37 on this fast-moving Friday news day. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and gang with you till noon. Next hour, going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000. Political analyst Bill Crane's going to join us live at 10:35. Right now, updating the on and off again talks of the Russia-Ukraine war. President Trump asked about negotiations yesterday at the White House.
What concessions has Russia offered up thus far to get to the point where you're closer to peace?
Stopping the war, stopping taking the whole country. Pretty big concession. I can't think of one country that doesn't want to negotiate a deal. And they either negotiate a deal or we set a deal that we think is fair.
Updating the Russia-Ukraine war, joining us live from the nation's capital, correspondent Tom Dempsey from News Nation. Tom, good morning. Welcome to the Mark Arum Show. How are you, sir?
Doing all right. I'm actually standing just outside the West Wing at the White House, literally at this second right now. President Trump departed on the Marine One helicopter not too long ago. At least on paper, the whole trip is he's going to be going to the funeral for Pope Francis at the Vatican City. But, you know, like you said, a big backdrop of all this right now these ongoing negotiations with Russia and Ukraine. You heard some of it in that soundbite you just played, that President Trump has made it very clear. He wants a ceasefire deal with this war, and he wants to see one soon. So to peel this back for our listeners out there, President Trump has called this war happening in Europe Biden's war. And he's remarked about the high cost, the amount of money that America has dedicated to the Ukrainian military to try and see this war, through. And he's grown very frustrated. There's a lot of frustration here at the White House right now with this. And, adding on to this frustration, just over the last 36 hours or so, there's been a very big attack reported in Kyiv, missiles and drones used by the Russian military. I believe it was one of the biggest attacks reported in Kyiv over the last year or so. And then just this morning, we're tracking updates on a Russian general being killed in Moscow, believed to be part of an attack tied to this war. So again, President Trump has grown very frustrated. He wants to see a deal come soon. Part of this trip to Rome and the Vatican City this weekend for the Pope's funeral, on the sidelines of it at least, President Trump is going to be talking with world leaders about these ongoing ceasefire negotiations. He wants a deal soon. And for listeners out there wondering, sort of what's the holdup, 3 big points really quickly, and I'll try and summarize quickly. Think of this war, this land that's being held by Russia in Ukraine. What's the future of that land? Does Russia have to give it up? That's one big point of these negotiations. Crimea, taken over by Russia back in 2014. What's the future of that? Will it be recognized as Russian territory? And then also Ukraine's wanting to join NATO. Russia has a very big problem with that. And actually, last part about all this, but in a Time magazine interview just released this morning, President Trump, that last part, saying that he believes that Ukraine helped initiate this war, partly because it wants to join NATO. So that's sort of the feeling right now here at the White House. There's frustration that this war is very much dragging on, and President Trump hopes to make some progress on a ceasefire deal this weekend when he's attending the Pope's funeral.
Tom Dempsey live at the White House joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. I would imagine part of that frustration is, Tom, President Trump campaigning as candidate Trump saying he would end that Russia-Ukraine war immediately. And I fully believe he thought he could. But now that he's in his second term, nearly 100 days in, recognizing the complexities that it requires to end such a huge and long-going war.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, first off, like you said, he campaigned on this. He's been calling it Biden's war, and a big part of these first 100 days of President Trump being in office is trying to reverse some of the things he greatly disagrees with former President Biden over, and that includes this war in Ukraine. Like I said, there's been some very big concerns and frustration voiced by President Trump and fellow Republicans about the very high cost of this war. Some of them are really frustrated that so much money has been pumped into this war, and yet it's been a kind of a stalemate over the last 2 years or so. So he really wants to see an end to all of this. But again, that's sort of the backdrop for this. He wants to see progress with this, with these negotiations, and he's said he's been putting pressure on Russia to accept a ceasefire deal. But also, let's be clear too, he's also put some criticism on Ukraine's leader, Vladimir Zelensky, as well, saying that their demands might be a little too high right now. He really just wants to end the war at this point.
And that frustration from the president came out on Truth Social yesterday, where he, in all capitals letters, said, "Vladimir, stop." He after the severe missile attacks there. So you can tell he's obviously frustrated. Is this the Witkoff time now? Does Witkoff have to go in and do the dirty work and try to find some sort of reconciliation between the two parties?
Absolutely. And, it's a very big person you just brought up there, because literally, I think at this minute right now in Moscow, President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, literally meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. So that's very much playing into this. Let's see, what Putin wants in this, and then we'll probably meet with Ukraine and see what they want. Try to find some sort of a deal, because I think it's safe to say President Donald Trump is really sick and tired of this war. But I will note, too, on the other side of this, you have some European leaders very concerned about Russia's intentions with all this. So, if Russia makes out of this war and gets this ceasefire deal very favorable terms, does that make them very confident moving forward? And what could that mean in the years ahead if they see a target potentially on the map of Europe? So, there's some very big concerns over what Russia's intentions are, the confidence it might feel after these ceasefire negotiations. So a lot of things at play. But from the United States' perspective, at least President Trump's perspective, he just wants this war to end.
Yeah, Tom, I'm not a political expert. I'm not a global negotiation expert. From just where I'm sitting, though, and listen, Russia is now winning this war, right? With the pause in funding from the U.S., and I know that the European allies of Ukraine said they were going to step it up, but Russia is winning this. They're doing better than they were 6, 8, 12 months ago. Is there any incentive for Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire? Like, they're winning, they're gaining ground. I just don't see what lever the Trump administration can pull to find any concessions from Vladimir Putin at this point.
Well, it's interesting because if you look through, world historical events, I like to read about the Vietnam War, you'll see right around times of ceasefires or big negotiations, you'll see both sides of the war try to gain maybe a few more inches on the battleground just so they can have a little bit extra leverage when it comes to these negotiations. So I think we are somewhat seeing that. I mean, like I said, just yesterday we were reporting on News Nation, Kyiv getting hit with missiles and drones. It was one of the biggest attacks on Kyiv over the last year or so. So to answer your question, sort of what does Russia have to gain with these ceasefire negotiations? Well, it's been a pariah on the world stage. No one wants to do any sort of business with Russia, and that might be that way for a while. But, this has taken a toll, I would say, probably on their military at least a little bit. I think Putin thought he could go right on into Kyiv and take it over, several years ago when he started this invasion. So, again, what does it have to gain? Probably lots of land from this. I think he'll likely secure that land that Russian troops are currently holding right now inside Ukraine, and then Crimea also being a very big part of this. And he might also get concessions too that Ukraine won't join NATO from these the ceasefire negotiations, which is a big point for this from Russia's standpoint.
Tom Dempsey, News Nation, live at the White House. Tom, great stuff. I look forward to having you back on the show, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Tom Dempsey, just outside the West Wing. And Tom mentioned the president just boarded Marine One to head to the airport and get on Air Force One to head to the papal funeral. I just got audio of President Trump talking to reporters. We're going to hear this together first at the same time. I have not yet heard this, but this is President Trump moments ago before he jumped on board Marine One.
Spoken to President Xi. When did that happen? China says it hasn't happened.
I spoke to him numerous times. So we're leading and going to Rome, where we'll be attending the funeral of Pope Francis. Some of you are going to go. Anybody going? And it's going to be very interesting. We're going to meet with a lot of the foreign leaders. They want to meet. Trade deals are going very well. I think Russia and Ukraine, I think they're coming along, we hope. It's very fragile. And Iran, I think, is going very well. We'll see what happens. We're working on plenty of things that shouldn't be worked on because none of this stuff should have happened. This should have been taken place by Biden. It should have been fixed by Biden, but he couldn't do it, nor could he come close to doing. So anyway, we're going to Rome to pay our respects, and we'll be leaving that same day. We'll be coming back home tomorrow night. And I'll see some of you over there. Otherwise, I'll see you on television.
How was the Witkoff meeting this morning? You said you spoke with President Xi. Have you spoken to him since the tariffs? When did you last speak?
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times. Yeah. From Japan. From Japan, I'm getting along very well with Japan. We're very close to a deal.
Will you be meeting with the President?
I'll be meeting with the Italian. Yes. Your Prime Minister? Oh, it's possible.
How would you the First Lady remember Pope Francis, sir? How would you the First
Very well. Good man. He loved the world, actually, and he was just a good man. I met him twice. I thought he was a fantastic kind of a guy.
Time magazine that President Xi called you. When did that happen, and what did you discuss?
I'll let you know at the appropriate time. Let's see if we can make a deal.
The Witkoff-Putin meeting. Any updates on the Witkoff-Putin meeting, sir? The meeting right now. What do you hope to transpire?
They're meeting with Putin right now as we speak, and we have a lot of things going on. And I think in the end we're going to end up with a lot of good deals, including tariff deals and trade deals. We're going to make our country rich, but we're going to try and get out of war so that we can save 5,000 people a week. And that's what my aim is. I want to save 5,000 young men. They happen to be mostly Ukrainian, Russian. 5,000 young Ukrainian and Russian men, and that's a big honor if I could do it. I think we're pretty close. No deadline. I just want to do it as fast as possible. What?
12 states have sued over your tariff plan. What do you think of those who voted for you?
I think the tariff plan is doing very well. We're resetting the table. We're going to make our country very rich, very, very rich. It's already happening. Thank you very much.
All right, President Trump just moments ago outside the Oval Office getting on board Marine One. Again, he's heading to Rome for the Pope's funeral. A lot of questions about, apparently, President Trump had an interview with Time Magazine, and he spoke about his relationship and the ongoing negotiations with China. And he said there he's spoken to President Xi many times. China has been adamant saying there are no discussions ongoing right now. So we're kind of getting mixed messages there, but obviously a lot going on. President Trump is going to be heading to the papal funeral in Rome. It is tomorrow morning. It will be kicking off at 4 a.m. here in Atlanta, and we will begin our coverage of the papal funeral at 4 a.m. here tomorrow morning on 95.5 WSB. 24-hour traffic coverage, by the way. If you're up at 4 a.m. tomorrow for the post-funeral, you'll get a traffic update. And let's get one right now, live to the traffic center. And Mike Shields.
Hey, Mark, watching for new trouble now on the south side in Clayton County as you leave Morrow into Forest Park on 75 northbound, right at Terra Boulevard, exit 235. It appears to be whatever it is right under the bridge, so things are starting to slow as you leave Highway 54. And seeing delays in Marietta with right lane roadwork 75 northbound at North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. Already sluggish as you leave Delk Road, exit 261. The support is brought by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide for a betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Pope Francis lies in state.
Francis only wanted to be buried in a simple wood box.
World leaders head to Rome.
President Trump plans to attend the funeral for the Pope.
And the Vatican prepares to say goodbye.
The line stayed at St. Peter's Basilica for 3 days.
The funeral of Pope Francis. Live coverage begins Saturday morning at 4 a.m.
His final wishes call for his burial at St. Mary Major Basilica.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Hey, it's Scott Slade with another big update from my friends at Myland. They've got a new mortgage available to those of you who own a rental home or investment property. This loan allows you to qualify based on the cash flow of the property. And that means you don't need to provide your income or employment like a traditional mortgage. It's special programs and industry knowledge like this that keep me talking about the abilities of my friends at Myland. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, refinance to lower your payment, or need to see how you can access the equity in your home to pay off other debts, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at Myland. Countless 5-star reviews and testimonials from homeowners just like you. Myland's been a top mortgage lender in Atlanta and a friend of mine for decades. Give Myland a call today. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage licensee 148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered
wife.
And I will have my vengeance.
In this life.
In this life or the next.
Yeah, Russell Crowe, Gladiator. I just got goosebumps listening to that. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Why am I playing that famous cut from the Gladiator? You know I love a good archaeological story, Deborah. And now I guess confirmed proof that what we saw in the movie Gladiator actually happened in the arena?
Yeah, it seems that way. You know, there's always been a little bit of back and forth whether gladiators actually battled these big animals in the Colosseum. When you were there, did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like some say no, some say it was just an exhibition. They were animals, but they weren't fighting. Well, there's new evidence that points to gladiators actually being in the ring with lions. A Roman gladiator skeleton was discovered, and it not only showed signs of like physical combat, but huge bite marks that can only be done by a large cat.
That's just like humans are vicious animals. Can you imagine like taking I guess it was Christians, right? That would fight in the as gladiators, and you'd have them put them in the pit with a lion. Like that's just psychotic. That's unbelievable that it actually happened. That's insane. Did you see the second Gladiator? Anyone
I
here?
haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
It's not bad, but the scenes in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
So in the first one, it was like, oh, lions or whatever the animals that Russell Crowe is fighting. I couldn't even tell what animals were fighting in the second one.
I saw a trailer where it was a rhino. I'm like, there wasn't a rhino in there. And maybe there was, but I don't think they had rhinos.
But it was like this monkey-looking creature. But like a skinless, it was weird. I'm like, that looks fictional. That doesn't look like a real thing. But anyway, all right. So archaeological proof that yes, lions were fighting gladiators in the Colosseum. Thank you for that, Deborah. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. You know what? I've been neglecting the markets. I don't know why. Let me refresh. Markets are down a little bit, not a lot, but it's still early. So hopefully we have a positive end to the trading week here on Wall Street. We'll update the markets throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. Coming up after news, weather, and traffic, go back to D.C. and talk about President Trump heading to the papal funeral. We'll talk to White House correspondent John Decker, and probably more importantly for you, if it's not a payday Friday, I have another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz coming up around 10:18. I will give you that keyword, and you'll have a chance to win $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Squirrels in your attic are not leaving without a fight. Scott Slade here. You need the Breda Wildlife Guarantee. It covers every entry point, old and new. Other companies only guarantee the entry point they seal. So each time that squirrel chews a new hole, and they will, it'll cost you hundreds more. But under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Your home's exterior really needs an update, but the economy is uncertain. No worries. Superior Pro is committed to low prices and high quality with American-made windows, siding, painting, doors, and more. Now, we're making it easier with this special offer. Purchase siding from Superior Pro and get half off the painting. And always an extended labor warranty. Schedule at superiorpro.com.
Superior Pro, the pros to know.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our top story happening now, President Trump just talking to reporters this morning as he was leaving Washington to attend the Pope's funeral. He was asked about the trade war with China.
Time magazine that President Xi called you. When did that happen and what did you discuss?
I'll let you know at the appropriate time. Let's see if we can make a deal.
Rachel Scott says conflicting reports on the status of trade talks between the U.S. and China is putting the markets in potential limbo.
They're really pushing back hard against the president's repeated claims that he is, in fact, engaging in talks and negotiations with China to end this trade war that he started. The president, in a new interview with Time magazine, says that he has spoken to President Xi, but China is pushing back on that, calling it fake news, saying there are no negotiations on tariff issues and no agreement has been reached.
All right, so let's take a look at the markets right now. The Dow currently down 183 at 39,909. So the Dow's down almost 0.5%. Nasdaq's in positive territory, but only slightly, and the S&P is down slightly. Your weather for today: cloudy skies, scattered rain showers, and a few thunderstorms late this afternoon. Highs around 79, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. And mourners are continuing to say their final goodbyes to the Pope, Pope Francis, at St. Peter's Basilica on this final day of public viewing. Jay Gray is reporting from Vatican City this morning that almost 130,000 people have so far filed past the Pope's coffin as his body continues to lie in state.
Thousands more wait in lines that stretch past preparations for his funeral. The beginnings of a stage and altar on the steps of St. Peter's Basilica. Video screens for the large crowds expected to spill out of the square during Saturday's service.
And more than 50 world leaders, including President Trump, expected to attend tomorrow's funeral, which begins at 4 a.m. Eastern Time and could draw as many as 250,000 people. Apple is moving away from China and plans to import most of the iPhones it sells in the United States from India by the end of next year. President Trump's tariffs and Beijing-Washington tensions pushing Apple to make the shift. Happening today, the 10th annual Vote, Run, Lead training conference is in Atlanta. The gathering aims to provide first-time female political candidates with the tools they need to run successful campaigns. The group's founder, Erin Valladori, says,
our mission actually is to put women's majorities in our state houses across the country. We believe that's a reflective democracy. We're 51% of the population and should be 51% of the seats.
Over a third of this year's participants are from Georgia. The program runs through Sunday. Alarming news this morning concerning measles. Millions of new measles infections could happen in the U.S. if the number of vaccinations drop. That, according to a new study today, researchers found that even if the U.S. maintains its current vaccination rate, the disease could become endemic again. The study in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Did you hear about this? A new electric vehicle startup backed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is on the horizon. It's called Slate Auto. It'll be headquartered in Michigan. They made its debut last night at a design studio in Long Beach, California, promising electric trucks for under $20,000 with a federal tax credit. Now, the trucks are really low tech when you compare it to others. The manual windows in those trucks, one thing that you might notice, and no informational screen. The company plans to build its trucks in Indiana. The basic model can go about 150 miles on a charge, expected to be on sale here in the United States next year. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smile and Mark McKay joining us now. He has a look at your roads on this Friday morning.
Good morning, Sabrina. We have work crews that are high above working alongside I-75, and they've knocked out a right lane here in Marietta. I-75 northbound, just north of the North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. That's why it's slow, leaving the South Loop trying to work through Marietta toward Kennesaw. 75 southbound works well. There are northbound delays on I-75 through Morrow with trouble working under the bridge at Highway 1941, exit 235. Picking up a little extra heavy traffic rolling south on 75 at the 675 split. And I-20 is crowding in, leaving Six Flags eastbound past Fulton Industrial Boulevard into the I-285 interchange. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms through the late afternoon and evening hours. High 79. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow drying out, though still partly to mostly cloudy. High 82. Partly cloudy on Sunday. Morning low 61. Afternoon high 83.
66 degrees in Johns Creek at 67 in Holly Springs and Lilburn. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Friday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 to noon on 95.5 WSB. The extended family with us today on a Donut Friday. Deborah is the executive producer of the show. Vinny Drip filling in for Longoria on the other side of the takeout window. Lil Gnocchi screens your calls. Coming up in 12 minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword to the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. 10:35, political analyst Bill Crane joins us live. 11:35, Deborah's got tickets for Billy Idol, Joan Jett, Ameris Bank Amphitheater on May 9th. Speaking of Donut Friday, Deborah, Vinny and Gnocchi, neither took part in Donut Friday today. I brought in 24 donuts. Vinny's like, my mom and I are giving up bread. Okay. And I don't even get an excuse for Gnocchi. He
got one.
Oh, he did get one.
Yeah, he got one.
All right. Did you? It must have been the last couple of minutes. All right.
Is Vinny no longer a bag of donuts? Is he changing
I
his
know.
name?
What the heck, Vin?
Man.
You watching your figure or something?
Yeah, you know, I got to do this with my mom.
Listen, I'm telling you now, in the start of your what is going to be a long, illustrious radio career, there are very few fringe benefits of working in radio. Mm-hmm. Free food is one of them. Donut Friday is the highlight. Is going to be the highlight of the work week. So tell moms, listen, I'll give up bread later. Except donuts isn't even a bread. I mean, it's a bread product, but it's not bread.
Can't Donut Friday be cheat day?
Yeah, cheat day.
Today we started today.
Oh, you started today.
That's
all right.
yeah.
There you go. All
I
right.
know.
That's all right, Vinny. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to guide you on your path. We are going to go back to Rome, by the way, get the latest on the Pope's funeral. Speaking of the Pope's funeral, joining us from Washington, White House correspondent John Decker. The eyes of the world still on Rome, John, as we prepare for the Pope's funeral, which you'll hear live here on Saturday, tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. on WSB Radio. And confirmation that President Trump is headed to the funeral.
That's right. The president leaves this morning for that long trip over to Rome. He'll overnight there, and then that funeral will begin, if I'm not mistaken, around 4 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. The president will be among the world leaders attending the funeral of Pope Francis. And the president said yesterday, while he was in the Oval Office, that while he's on this very short visit to Rome, he's going to meet with a number of other world leaders, would not disclose who they are or what the topics of conversation will be. We know yesterday, while in the Oval Office meeting with the Prime Minister of Norway, the big topics, tariffs, and also the war in Ukraine.
John, do we know any other world leaders besides President Trump that will be in Rome for the funeral?
I haven't seen the guest list, but, you know, typically every country in the world that has a significant Catholic population will send their leader to attend the funeral. And he's not going to be, President Trump is not going to be the only world leader. I would not expect to see President Vladimir Putin at the funeral. I would expect to see French President Emmanuel Macron. France has a very sizable Catholic population.
How did you know I was going to ask about President Putin? How did you know that was going to be my follow-up?
Well, it seems logical. You know, I mean, let's face it. He is a world leader. He is someone that the Pope has met with over the course of his papacy. It seems like a logical question as to whether or not Vladimir Putin would be attending the funeral, but he will not be. That's been confirmed by the Kremlin.
All right, so while the president is traveling for the papal funeral, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is Saturday night. I'm assuming the president won't be back in time for that?
No, he won't. He will not be back in time for that. But even if he somehow was in time back in Washington, D.C., I was not ever expecting him to attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You know, he never attended it during his first term, and I do not expect him to attend it any year of his second term in office either. But having said that, there will be a significant number of lawmakers that will be there. We'll see if there's any celebrities that show up. I'll be there. I always look forward to this event. Happens once a year, and it's always just a nice, fun event. So we'll see what this event has in store for it. I think I can speak for myself. I'm disappointed that the president won't be there. I think it adds something when the president, whoever it is, attends this dinner.
And I don't mean offense by this question, but we've seen in the almost first 100 days of the Trump presidency a change in the White House press corps. It's evident every time he's signing executive orders and taking questions, and you have these quasi-journalists asking questions that really don't matter at the end of the day. I don't know how they're credentialed. I don't know how they're in there, but are those from obscure outlets, are they part of this White House Correspondents Association, and will they be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if they're members of the White House Correspondents Association, they have the opportunity to purchase tickets or tables to attend the dinner. And I think it's up to each individual organization as to whether or not they want to attend the dinner. So I can't speak to any one entity. It's up to them. And for me, my perspective is I've been covering the White House for a pretty long time, going back to Bill Clinton's first term in 1995. And I think the more the merrier. That's my attitude as it relates to some of the new entities, the new news organizations that have come on board wanting to cover the Trump White House. I do wish that, if they had the opportunity to ask the question of the president, they make it a good question, that's helpful to the public.
Yeah.
I don't think that a question that's fawning is helpful to the public, so take advantage of those opportunities would be my advice to those people.
Agreed. Final quick question, John. How's the food at the dinner? Is it the rubber chicken circuit, or is it decent?
It's always pretty good. Here's the thing. It's about 2,200 people that attend this dinner, 2,200 people. I still, for all the years that I've attended, I have no idea. How do you prepare meals for 2,200 people and make it pretty good? That to me is a feat unto itself.
There you go. John, thanks for your time. Enjoy your evening, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot, Mark. You have a great weekend, too. We'll talk next week.
President Trump en route to Rome right now. I wonder, Deborah, with the tariffs being levied on European alcoholic beverages, if the president, it's a quick trip, right? He's going to go to the funeral, have some asides with some world leaders, and then head back to the States. I wonder if he's going to fill up Air Force One with like bottles of Italian limoncello, some fine Italian wines. Like, I'm going to beat my own tariffs. I'm going to stock up. Because, I mean, when the president comes back, he doesn't have to go through customs, right?
No.
It's not like he lands like, President Trump, do you have anything to declare? Oh, I bought a leather jacket in Rome. And, I bet at least the journalists or the aides that President Trump travels with, I hope they take advantage of that and buy like a case of... Have you ever had limoncello, Deborah?
Oh, yeah. When I was there, we had limoncello, yeah.
It's so... Limoncello, you ever heard of it, Vinny?
What is that?
It's an alcoholic beverage made from lemons. I mean, it's like a dessert beverage. You're not going to go out to a club and order limoncello, but after dinner, and it is potent.
So it's not a lemon drop.
It's way better than a lemon.
It's in the family. It's on the family tree. But speaking of alcohol, because of the forthcoming tariffs, right? We still have a pause on most of them. The amount of liquor that we have been exporting from the United States is near record numbers, Deborah. What can you tell me?
Yeah, one place that's been benefiting from the tariffs is the liquor industry. The U.S. spirits exports to the EU, just the EU, surged by 39% just this past month. That's from people trying to get ahead of this, and approximately 50% of all the spirits that we make here go to the EU, coming in at about $1.2 billion. That's the biggest market that we have for for alcohol, but the rest of the world seems to be kicking back. Everything kind of slowed through Asia, South America. So it's really just the EU that love our alcohol.
So we spend a lot of time on how we can tariff-proof our lives here in the United States, but apparently the rest of the world, or at least Europe's doing that too. If they know that American liquors are going to be tariffed, they're like, oh, we better stock up now on Jack Daniel. I don't know what kind of liquor that the Europeans are buying from us, but I imagine it's bourbons and whiskeys and stuff like that. Right? What else? What do we make here?
Vodka?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you'd get that in Asia.
yeah,
right?
Europe, Russian vodka. Oh, that's probably a no-go right now.
I don't think it would be beer necessarily.
No.
Yeah, it's got to be the bourbons and the whiskeys.
Trying to think, like Mad Dog? Is there,
Tequila?
Oh, tequila. Is tequila made in the U.S. or made in Mexico, I thought?
It has to be made, like, if it's technically like champagne, where it has to come from France, and
gotcha.
tequila technically, but you still have American blends.
Mezcal? Is that similar?
Not at all.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Deborah. All right, speaking of tariffs, a new AP NORC poll finds most Americans not fans of President Trump's tariffs. Details from CBS News correspondent Mike Wallace.
70% of those polled say Trump's trade policies will either raise prices a lot or somewhat. 60% say he has gone too far when it comes to imposing new tariffs. 60% are also worried about grocery prices. Half are extremely or very concerned the economy could slip into a recession in the next few months. 40% approve of the way Trump is handling the economy and trade negotiations. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
All right, so mixed bag. It's so weird. If I have a chance, Harry Etten was on CNN. He's got some more polling data on President Trump. But if you poll Americans on specific things, like the border, President Trump polls well on the border. But with the tariffs, he polls poorly. It's weird that I guess I give credit to Americans. They can differentiate. They're not blanketly supporting everything he does. If Americans think that President Trump's stepping out of line or overstepping, they'll let the pollsters know. But it's interesting if you do by panel, by label on everything that they're asking about the president, scoring really high on the border and immigration, not so much on the economic and tariff instances. One more tariff story, and this is here in the United States, right, Deborah? As we approach the tariff deadline, a number of big ticket items that Americans are buying went through the roof.
Yeah, just the idea of tariffs had Americans rushing to buy those big ticket items. Economists call them durable goods, and that jumped about 9%. So these are things like equipment that's used for transportation, so airplanes, buses, stuff like that, all the parts, along with the automobiles. I think we saw that. We talked about that. But also appliances, computers like your laptops, and even jewelry. They all saw a nice gain as everyone was trying to get ahead of those tariff and imports.
I didn't even think of like work vehicles. Like the fur bus company in Atlanta. Did they pre-order? Hey, we better get 3 more fur buses. Or am I dating myself? Is that not a thing anymore?
I haven't even seen a fur bus in forever.
Vince, you ever been on a fur bus for a bachelor party or just cruising?
Like a party, just a party bus?
It's like a party
bus. It has fur on the bus?
I've never been in
It's
one.
all inside the bus.
It's inside the bus is furry.
I don't know if I like that.
All right, fair enough. Anyway, if the owner of fur bus is listening, might want to jump out and get a couple of replacement fur buses before the tariffs kick in. And if the owner of fur bus is listening, maybe we can get you $1,000 to buy a new fur bus. How? Oh, yeah. 5K day bonus blitz time, folks. 10 a.m. keyword is free. Free, free. Enter the keyword free into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. The keyword is free. Free. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you do not recognize, answer it. It could be us telling you you won $1,000. The 10 a.m. keyword is free. Free. Good luck. All right, let's check the ride around town. Straight back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Smile at Mark McKay.
Slow moves through Marietta, Mark on I-75 northbound. Utility work being done to the right lane of 75 north, just above the north loop, exit 265. So a little more than a tap of the brakes as you work your way north from the south loop up toward Kennesaw this morning. Traffic turbos in Cobb County on it today. Police activity, says Traffic Trooper Don, at the intersection of Powder Springs Road and Forest Hill Road, causing delays there. And Traffic Trooper Ron says that another vehicle, this time a car hauler, has smacked into the covered bridge in Cobb County, shutting down Concord Road at the covered bridge till further notice. This report sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Monday on Atlanta's Morning News, we'll get the new week started with our exclusive 5-day forecast, where Clark wants you to look if you're sick of increasing phone bills. And remember your chance to win $1,000 as our 5K a day bonus blitz continues on WSB.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement. And it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
You're hardly at home in the spring. Your family is busier than ever. So are the springs on your garage door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All 4 Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. If your garage door just isn't right, really noisy, won't open or close, there could be a lot of reasons why, like a broken spring or a busted opener. At All 4 Seasons, our highly trained technicians provide 24/7 service, upfront pricing, and free estimates. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Spring is here and pollen is back and it's clinging to everything. Good news, it washes right off unless it is stuck to grime and algae. That is why I called Wise Guys Pro Wash. I got a quote fast, booked next day service. I didn't even have to be home. And I came back to a clean house and deck I actually want to hang out on now. Nearly 2,000 5-star Google reviews. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off any service before April 30th. Don't wait. Book now at WiseGuysProWash.com.
Now open at 54 Bullsboro Drive, Home Outlet Noonan. Break up with your big box store and discover a better way to tackle home improvement. Employee-owned Home Outlet delivers the guaranteed lowest prices on a wide selection of quality in-stock kitchens, baths, floors, and more. Take advantage of our free services, including expert kitchen planning and accurate estimates for baths, floors, doors, and windows. Shop in-store or online at homeoutlet.com.
Home Outlet is your home store.
The sounds from Vatican City, mourners going past the open casket of Pope Francis. Tens of thousands of folks going past the Pope's casket. But, Deborah, I'm not surprised that this is a thing. Folks in the Vatican telling folks not to do what when they go past the Pope's casket?
Well, you know, you got to get it for the gram, right? But that might get you stuck in purgatory for a little while, too. So a lot of people that are going to St. Peter's Basilica to say goodbye to Pope Francis, some of them taking it a little bit too far by snapping selfies with the body as they walk by. Somebody even live streamed it on TikTok. So the Vatican is asking mourners, please avoid taking any photos, and they're considering banning selfie sticks.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, that's, first of all, with the Pope, that makes it sacrilegious, right? I understand you want to document that you're there for this solemn event. If you want to take a picture outside the basilica or the ceiling, but to even do that at any funeral, take a picture of the body? Yeah. Vinny just lost his grandfather. Did you take a selfie in front of your grandpa's casket?
Why would I do that?
That's just wrong.
Yeah, that's too much.
They should have bouncers on both sides of the Pope's casket. And
God.
Yeah, come on. That's not good. You're right. Purgatory awaits them. We did pick up some breaking news in the break coming from Lil Gnocchi. We got a BOGO Gnocchi from our friends at Publix. What do you have for us, buddy?
BOGO Chunky Soup.
Look at that. After losing your Chunky Soup virginity last week, now you can go buy one, get one. I'm glad you told me that because I love the BOGOs, but Chunky Soup BOGO, Maya's like, she'll come home and open the cupboard and be like, oh, Publix had a BOGO on Chunky Soup, huh? Yeah, so I'm going to hit that. One more buy one, get one offer, Deborah, coming from Burger King. The Whopper is going to be BOGO until April 27th, like 2 days from now. Is that right?
Yeah, just a couple days here. It's almost lunchtime for us that are up at like 4 in the morning, right? So right now through April 27th, you get a BOGO deal on Whoppers. You do have to be part of the Royal Perks member.
I am.
Go on your app, add it to there, and then you can get a free buy one, get one free Whopper every day until the 27th.
Oh, all right. So today's the 24th. So 3 days. Oh, Vinny, too bad you gave up bread. Can't get the BOGO Whoppers. All right, final reminder, the 10 a.m. keyword in the bonus blitz is free, F-R-E-E, free. Enter the keyword free into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have 3 minutes left to enter that keyword. The keyword is free, and good luck. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic when we come back. Political analyst Bill Crane joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
It's the NRA annual meetings and exhibits at the World Congress Center, April 25th to 27th. 14 acres of guns and gear. A freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. Tickets just $10. NRA members get in free. Visit NRAtickets.com.
Avoid the stress of preparing to sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. You can skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home fast for maximum value. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Don't worry about showings, open houses, or costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market, receive an all-cash offer, and close within days. One of their satisfied clients, Tracy, said the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate was fantastic. It could not have gone any better, and we received an offer higher than we were expecting. I wholeheartedly recommend Mark Spain Real Estate. With over 12,500 five-star reviews just like Tracy's, you can trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast with their guaranteed cash offer. Mark Spain Real Estate's been serving families for nearly 30 years and has helped over 67,500 satisfied clients. So spring into action, sell your home with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. In Dunwoody right now, police searching for a driver who they say intentionally ran over a man outside the Bird restaurant on Ashford Dunwoody Road early this morning. According to police, a fight broke out inside the bar between a couple and another man. All three were told to leave. Michael Cheek with Dunwoody Police telling us.
As that gentleman and his girlfriend were leaving the restaurant, as soon as they stepped into the parking lot, a vehicle drove and willfully struck the male, causing him serious injuries.
The victim is at Grady right now in critical but stable condition. A search underway for the driver. So far, no description of the vehicle has been released. Your weather for today: cloudy skies, scattered rain showers, a few thunderstorms late this afternoon, and a high of 79, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Well, on his way to Rome this morning, President Trump was asked about his recent communication with China's president.
You spoke with President Xi. Have you spoken to him since the tariffs? When did you last
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times.
The president also asked about the war in Ukraine.
We're meeting with Putin right now as we speak, and we have a lot of things going on, and I think in the end we're going to end up with a lot of good deals.
Now, the president will attend the funeral mass for Pope Francis tomorrow. He will be among more than 50 world leaders at the service tomorrow. The Red Cross working with 6 families forced out of their homes after an apartment fire in DeKalb County. Firefighters say 8 units at the Ashbury apartment homes on Flat Shoals Road suffered damage. Investigators believe the fire started in the basement and then reignited hours after firefighters put it out. The exact cause still under investigation. No injuries reported in that blaze. 2 popular coaches at Cobb County's Campbell High School get their job jobs back. There was a huge outcry when James Gwynn and Randy McClure were told that they'd be out of a job at the end of the school year. Superintendent Chris Ragsdale.
We concluded that investigation, and based on the results, I recommended Coach McClure and Coach Gwynn be offered contracts for rehire by the Cobb County School District for school year 25-26.
And they have accepted and signed those new contracts, meaning that they'll be back on the sidelines next school year in the gym that was named in honor of the two coaches in 2019. Dozens of children receive cancer diagnosis every year here in the United States, and tonight, a fundraising event seeks to raise $1 million for pediatric cancer research.
Tonight's Rally on the Runway at the Georgia Aquarium features a silent auction and the showcase event, Rally Kids themselves hitting the runway for a fashion show alongside Bradley Pinion of the Atlanta Falcons.
I actually get to walk the runway with the kids. Also get time with the kids beforehand at the aquarium, which I'm super pumped about.
Rally CEO Dean Crow says 93 cents of every dollar goes to funding research for childhood cancer. You can donate and learn more at rallyfoundation.org. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
And this may be something to see. State Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper is going to ride a bull tonight, a real bull, at Reeves Arena at the Georgia National Fairgrounds.
Hopefully it'll encourage folks to donate a little bit to see me get back on the backside of a bull and try my hand at making the 8-second clock again.
It is all to raise money for Georgia's future farmers of America. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 346 at 39,746. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down slightly, and the S&P's also in negative territory. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay has a look at your roads.
Slow road on I-75 trying to get into and out of Marietta. Sabrina, the northbound lanes of 75 come to a halt just north of Delk Road. Got utility work high above I-75. Right lane is knocked out northbound just above the South Marietta Parkway. Police fire department activity in the Austell and Powder Springs area has Richard D. Sailors Parkway westbound blocked at times at Forest Hill Road. The delays on I-20 passing Six Flags out of Cobb County, slow approaching I-285. Driver tell us that the covered bridge will be shut down till further notice. The covered bridge in Cobb County, Concord at Covered Bridge after a car hauler went into that this morning. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Today's high is 79. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow drying out, partly to mostly cloudy, high 82. Sunshine for Sunday, morning low 61, afternoon high 83.
68 degrees in Roswell at 67 in Beaufort. Peachtree City has 69 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good man. He loved the world, actually, and he was just a good man.
President Trump reflecting on Pope Francis as he heads to the funeral in Rome. Coming up next, we're going to talk politics. Political analyst Bill Crane live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan Atlanta, 191 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Dial # law. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Our weather is so unpredictable and your roof takes all the abuse. If it needs repair or replacement, think of Findlay First, the roof guys, the perfect match for any roofing issues. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Much more than this, I did it my
10:37 on this fantastic Friday. Welcome back, friends. Mark, Aram, and crew with you till noon. 1 hour from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Billy Idol, Joan Jett at Maris Bank Amphitheater on May 9th. Joining us live now, as he does every Friday at this time, political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Mark. How are you and the bananas?
I am excellent. And Mazel Tov, by the way. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. Congratulations.
No, not at all. We have a new grandson in the Crane household and the Carson household. Cohen Daniel Carson's been born this morning and joins the Mighty Mites, my twin grandson. So we'll have three at their home in Monroe. And Mother Barclay Carson and grandson Cohen Carson are resting comfortably at Northside in Lawrence.
I'm so happy for you. And the name's already been picked?
Cohen Daniel Carson. Yep.
All right. Because the Georgia defensive player Malachi was his first name.
Yeah,
he got drafted.
There was some other suggestions I made, but Cohen Daniel Carson is
all right. Congratulations,
CDC.
Bill. Yeah, that's fantastic. You're a heck of a grandpa, by the way. If you don't mind, let's start locally. The race for the governor's seat in 2026. We got a candidate that says I'm running, and a candidate says that I'm not running. What do we know?
Jason Estevez, a state senator, former Atlanta school board member, is officially in and is up and running a campaign website. He's an up-and-comer in the Georgia General Assembly and very well regarded on both sides of the aisle. He worked well with Republicans and Democrats. He's probably a little bit more center of the party on the Democratic side. Jason Carter, President Carter's grandson, who also has been running the Carter Center as opposed to practicing law the past few years, and who was being tossed around as a contender, has said he will not be running. His wife has cancer, and he's going to focus on her health and the family and getting her back to 100%. And his duties at the Carter Center would not rule out a return to politics. He ran against Nathan Deal for governor in 2014 as a young state senator for a later run by that Carter.
Yeah, sad. I mean, obviously, thoughts and prayers to Mrs. Carter there. But if Jason Carter had, entered the race, he probably would have been the front runner, right? With statewide name recognition, the Carter legacy.
Statewide name ID. He has the ability to tap into a lot of dollars, including the Cox family that are very fond of the Carters. But I would also point out, in a Democrat primary, he's more of a blue dog Democrat, and we may be in a position now, the way both the Republican and Democratic parties in their primaries have sort of gone to the core activists, where it's very difficult for a white male to win a statewide primary on the Democratic side.
Interesting. I should note and confirm for me, Deborah Green, that next week on the show, State Senator Jason Estevez will join us live on the program. He's going to join us.
Yep, he's going to be on with us on Thursday, May 1st.
Okay, and thank you for booking.
You will enjoy getting to know him, and I can send you some thoughts too.
Well, yeah, I would love that, Bill. But that, getting to know him, that's the thing I think is going to be key for his campaign, is the fact that you go to Valdosta and no one's ever heard of Jason Estevez, right? He needs to get the name out, and he's got to introduce himself to folks outside the metro area.
And that's why he's getting in early. You want to tie up endorsements. You want to get party activists all over the state excited about you. And there is a wide number of other candidates potentially for that race on the Democratic side. Former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms of Atlanta, 60th mayor, is pretty clear she's going to get in. Stacey Abrams is still looking at this race. There are people with greater name ID like Michael Thurman, the CEO of DeKalb County, who have not made their mind up yet. So, yeah, if he's going to be effective, he's got to get out there early. And also, if he's a legislator, and he will be coming up before we get through after the next election cycle, you can't raise money during the General Assembly or during special sessions. So he has that additional kind of handicap in terms of raising money, which he could have possibly announced earlier, but he would have been forbidden during the legislative session from raising funds.
Interesting. Political analyst Bill Crane joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. On the other side of the aisle, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, Chris Carr, Are they officially in, or we just assume that they're going to be in?
Chris Carr is officially announced, and he's raised about $3 or $4 million. And Burt Jones has all but announced, but clearly is going to get in that race. The other shoe we were looking to drop, but I don't think will. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger had been eyeballing in the race. I think he'll stay out of it. And there are a couple of Republican members of Congress who've been looking at both that seat and the Senate race. I don't think they'll get in the governor's race at this point. I think it's going to be a pretty tough two-man haul with possibly a more conservative and arch-conservative getting in just to get on the ballot. That if that happens, it actually takes a little bit of vote away from Burt Jones, who will have the endorsement probably of Donald Trump, and I think Chris Carr will be eventually endorsed by Brian Kemp.
Heard a story this morning on Atlanta's Morning News with Chris Chandler, Bill, that Marjorie Taylor Greene not ruling out the possibility that she is going to run for Senate if Governor Kemp doesn't. What do you make of that proclamation?
Where do I send the check? Go, Marjorie, go, because that's how we get her out of Congress. Well, I don't think she even makes it into a runoff. I know she has fans and she has voters in her district, and the 9th and 14th are the most reliably conservative GOP districts in the state. But even Republicans in her districts are not fans. She takes what I would call Trumpism even further. I mean, most recently with the town hall where, granted, a protester at one of her town halls was being escorted out by the police, and he should not have turned around and started swinging and taking physical action at the police officer, but she cheered him being dragged out of there and tased on. She is a member of Congress. There's a higher standard of performance, and I don't see that out of her.
Let me approach this from a different angle, right? So
Sure.
I'm fully, I mean, I don't know personally, but I'm not convinced that Governor Kemp wants to run for Senate, right? Maybe keep his powder dry for a bigger office down the line. Going from the governor to one of 100 senators. I don't have any inside knowledge.
I don't think he wants to either, and
Yeah.
that's just from every single I get of people around him. But I don't know the job that he really wants, as I understand it, is University of Georgia's president.
Oh, that'd be a
As opposed to
fantastic
president
job.
of the United States.
Yeah.
That's
All
a
right,
big
but
gig, and he lives
so
in
here's
Fort
my
Myers.
conspiracy theory, Bill. When Marjorie Taylor Greene says, I'm going to run for Senate if Governor Kemp doesn't, does that put extra pressure on him from the party in the state and be like, oh, Governor, you better run. We can't have Marjorie Taylor Greene running for Senate here in Georgia.
The Republican Senatorial Committee and all of the leadership in Washington have been putting pressure on him to get in for months. It would certainly also help Chris Carr if he's at the top of the ticket and he's running for Senate, and particularly if he endorses Chris Carr. I just don't think that the Kemp family sees living in Washington as a huge plus, and Senate and the legislative branch, as you just pointed out, are very different than the executive branch, which he's more comfortable. He served earlier in the state Senate. I just increasingly see signs that that's not going to happen. But there are other Republicans, Buddy Carter, the 1st District congressman, who are looking at the race who may not have the name identification that Marjorie Taylor Greene does or the fundraising ability. But not all of Marjorie Taylor Greene's name idea is positive. It's just universal.
You think?
And that can that can be plus and minus in a primary.
One quick follow-up on Governor Kemp. What did he sign into legislation?
The law that his number one legislative agenda item was tort reform, which hopefully puts some does put some caps on awards that juries can make in civil trials, and hopefully will have the effect of bringing insurance rates down. It has done so, with similar statutes being passed into law in Texas, Arkansas, and Florida. So the hope is your automobile insurance rates, your homeowner insurance rates will stop, at the very least, the year-over-year increases. And hopefully, as those judgments start to flatten out, that we'll start to see a decline, because the underwriters will see Georgia as a less vulnerable state to major multi-million-dollar awards for every case.
Bill, let's talk national politics. I think this is a win for RFK Jr., the secretary of the HHS. He is taking up the food dye ban in the U.S., getting away from measles and vaccines and autism. This seems like a layup, banning some of these food dyes.
He's still talking about fluoride and some of the other stuff. But yeah, he is, as a private attorney, he multiple times sued food manufacturers and has long believed that a lot of the illnesses Americans face, diabetes, overweight, heart disease, are to relate to our overprocessed foods with a lot of artificial chemicals. And in this instance, he's going after synthetic dyes, many of which are petroleum-based, that go into your kids' macaroni and cheese and those snack crackers we all love, and Captain Crunch cereal, getting those out, making them illegal, having the FDA remove approval. And if anybody thinks that's overreacting, they've been illegal in Canada and the European Union for decades.
Yeah, so I think that could be a winning issue. He needs a victory so far at his early tenure.
And I think that will demonstrate that he has some agenda that isn't all cuckoo-cuckoo.
I love that phrase. Final question regarding President Trump and Chinese tariffs. He appears to be softening a little bit. What's your take on what's going on in the trade war with China?
Well, I think we've seen President Trump have a number of one-on-one meetings with major corporation CEOs in the electronics area, as well as processed goods and manufacturers of food, of how they're being impacted by these tariffs on both ends, importing on this end and exporting their goods to China, and the impact that's going to have, if not immediately, in the near and midterm on their pricing and the economy. And at the same time, the dollar is sort of cratering as the reserve currency of the world. Gold is going through the roof, and our bond market has gotten soft, as well as the roller coaster effect we've seen on the stock market. I think the president's realized that he's got China's attention, but now he's, know that he has their attention. Now is the time to be a little bit more charming at the negotiating table and cut a deal.
Grandpa Bill Crane, congratulations, my friend. And Bill, by the way, now active on social media. Where can we find you on social media?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and I know I'm forgetting one, CSI Crane and CSICrane.com.
Oh, you're all right. I'm going to do my quarterly log on to LinkedIn and try to track you down there. I'm rarely on
You should
LinkedIn,
find
though.
me.
Yeah, there you go. Bill, congratulations again. Thanks, and have a great weekend, buddy.
Take care, brother.
There you go. Grandpa Bill Crane. Grandpa again. Grandson not named Malachi. Will you pledge right now, Vinny, to name your first son Malachi?
I'm really not mad at that. I like that.
Thank you. All right. Malachi Drip. All right, let's check the roads around town on this fantastic Friday. Where are the hot spots now, Mark McKay?
I-75 on both sides of downtown Atlanta. Mark, out of Morrow, been watching delays 75 northbound as you approach Highway 54, trying to get past trouble in a lane right at Highway 1941, Terra Boulevard, exit 235. Cobb County, that's utility work taking out a right lane, slowing I-75 northbound from the South Marietta Parkway past the North Loop, exit 265. Concord Road, the covered bridge in Cobb County, is shut down due to a car hauler that has hit the bridge this morning, and hopefully they'll get some lanes open through the day. Meanwhile, police and fire department activity in Austell. Powder Springs has shut down lanes along Richard D. Sailors Parkway at Forest Hill Road. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
The Pope lies in state.
The pageantry that we're seeing, it is scaled down for a Pope.
The world prepares to say goodbye.
The Pope is a global figure. He's certainly for Catholics. He's our father.
And the Vatican prepares for the next Pope.
Conclave, which will nominate a new Pope.
The funeral of Pope Francis.
Pope Francis died Monday after suffering a stroke.
Live coverage begins tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
He focused on simplicity.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I love my home, and now I found a company that loves it as much as I do. TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Chris Chandler here. These folks know great service starts with a job well done and ends with a smile. I found all that out for myself as a customer. It was a 5-star customer experience. Technicians really knew their stuff. They were enthusiastic, they were fast, they were efficient. The communication was top-notch. They kept me informed every step of the way, starting with the exact time they were going to get there. And they even followed up after the service. You don't always get that, as you know. TE Certified has more than 20,000 5-star reviews, and they've been serving Atlanta for decades. You can schedule with them easily online. Really, I just put myself in their hands, and TE Certified handled everything perfectly. That kind of peace of mind is priceless.
TE Certified, we love your home.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries of most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You do not want to miss this. For the next few days, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning for only $109 when you mention me, Chris Chandler. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway for only $109. This offer is only available for a few more days, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
10:54 on the Mark Arum Show. Best news I heard all day. Congrats to Zano in Jackson. He won $1,000 in the 5K a day bonus splits just by listening to the Mark Arum Show. This is the show. This is like the Jelly of the Month Club. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Congrats to Zano. Your next chance to win $1,000. I would love to give away 2 of them today. Comes after the noon news, right before the Eric Erickson show. I'm going to give you the noon keyword. Another chance for you to win $1,000 during the 5K a day bonus splits. But kudos, congrats to Zano in Jackson. I'm going to throw some more knowledge at Vinny. I already told him in radio, it's very important to take advantage of the few fringe benefits we have, like free food, free donuts. Here's another one, Vin. If you decide to get a job in the real world, don't lie on your resume, okay? And it seems to, it should go without saying. In radio, you can kind of flub a resume, right, Deborah? I mean, no one's going to check if you worked at WVCT in Madison, Wisconsin in 1997, right? No one's going to check that. But if you get a job in the real world, do not lie on your resume. Exhibit number 137. The nominee for the Surgeon General, the credentials of the nominee of the Surgeon General under scrutiny right now.
Dr. Jeanette Nashwat gained visibility as an urgent care doctor in New York during the COVID pandemic.
It's this novel virus, a new disease.
CBS News has learned she did not earn her medical degree from the University of Arkansas, as she claims. She completed her residency in Arkansas, but obtained her medical degree from the American University of the Caribbean. The Fox News contributor also claims she is double board certified, but CBS News could only confirm her certification in family medicine. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Goodness gracious. You lie about where you went to medical school? And I give her credit. It's not like she said, I went to Yale Medical School or, or Princeton or what, Arkansas. But she
You think anybody would check?
Yeah. So I give her credit for that. But she went to the, whatever, was it Caribbean Medical School? Yeah. Why? And why pick all these nominees from Fox News? I mean, come on. I know he's the president. Bless his heart, loves Fox News, but you don't have to. Every cabinet nominee doesn't have to be someone that's been on Fox News. Anyway, lesson for all the kids out there. If you're in radio, you can flip your resume. There's certain jobs, but if you're a doctor, don't lie on your resume. Don't lie on your resume. And if you're a politician, don't lie. George Santos getting sentenced today. Yes, we'll update that story when we come back. Plus more on the Pope's funeral this Saturday morning in Rome. And reaction now out of Moscow to the latest tete-a-tete between Russia, Ukraine, President Trump. We'll go to Moscow and get the latest there. Again, congrats to, what was his name?
It was Zano.
Zano
and Jackson.
Zano and Jackson won $1,000 in the 5K day bonus blitz. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum, MarkArum. 2 minutes away from news, weather, and traffic on 95.5 WSB.
If it's the big story, it's on 2. Channel 2 Action News this morning. I'm Fred Blankenship.
And I'm Lori Wilson. Big stories are always breaking. It may start in the morning, but the impact continues all day.
We're constantly working to bring you fresh information from different perspectives.
This is Developing Live. Our reporters are working to get you all the angles right now.
When it comes to the big story, this is always the place to get ready for your day.
Join us on Channel 2 Action News this morning every day, 4:30 to 7.
Prices are going up all over, right? Not at Superior Pro. Your exterior makeover is closer than you think. Superior Pro's high-quality American-made windows, siding, painting, doors, and more are on sale. Special financing as low as 0% and low monthly payments to fit any budget. Extended labor warranty included. Visit SuperiorPro.com.
Superior Pro, the pros to know.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. There's new information this morning in the trade war with China. Despite China saying no tariff deal talks have happened, President Trump doubling down on his claims that a deal is close.
China continues to say there are no negotiations on trade and tariffs with the United States. But President Trump says he's spoken with President Xi numerous times. Reporters at the White House Friday pushed him to say when those conversations took place.
Have you spoken to him since the tariffs? When did you last
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times.
The president said he would say more at the appropriate time and wants to see if the U.S. can make a deal with China. China so far has played hardball, showing no indication of willingness to de-escalate this standoff.
So how are the markets reacting this morning? The Dow's down 222 at 39,870. The Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's actually in positive territory slightly, and the S&P is in the red this morning. All right, your weather for today. Cloudy skies, scattered rain showers, a few thunderstorms possible late today. Highs around 79. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Happening now, a man is in critical condition after he was hit by a vehicle following an overnight bar fight in Dunwoody. And Dunwoody Police Sergeant Michael Cheek says it happened at the Bird Restaurant on Ashford Dunwoody Road.
A man and a woman, who are boyfriend and girlfriend, I believe, were sitting at the bar, and a second male came up to the female and touched her, not in necessarily an assaultive way, but in a way to get her attention.
And that is when the fight broke out. Management kicked all three out. As the couple exited the building, the man was intentionally hit by a car. He's at Grady right now in critical condition, but stable. Investigators trying to figure out who was in the car, and they're searching for that vehicle and its driver this morning. Alarming news concerning measles. Millions of new measles infections could happen in the U.S. if the number of vaccinations drop. That's according to a new study. And researchers found that even if the U.S. maintains its current vaccination rate, the disease could become endemic again. The study is in the Journal of the American Medical Association. The FBI finds reports of cybercrime in Georgia jumped 40% last year. The state now ranking 7th in the country with more than $420 million stolen. FBI Special Agent in Charge Paul Brown says cybercrimes against the elderly continue to surge.
And losses in Georgia reported by seniors went from $92 million in 2023 to $174 million in 2024.
And phishing scams remain the most reported cybercrime, followed by extortion, and cryptocurrency scams more than doubled last year. Workplace satisfaction's on the decline, according to Gallup's latest State of the Global Workplace report. It's offering a stark assessment of the cost of employment disengagement.
Gallup has attempted to quantify worker engagement and then to plot that on a map. Employee disengagement last year cost the world economy an estimated $438 billion in lost productivity.
And correspondent Jim Ryan says the report finds that only 1 in 3 workers in America feels emotionally invested in their jobs. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. He has a look at your roads on this Friday morning.
Hey, good Friday morning to you, Sabrina. Right now, we are still seeing brake lights up through Marietta with that right lane construction. 75 northbound North Marietta Parkway, exit number 265. Elsewhere, if you're traveling in DeKalb County, I-20 westbound on and off the brakes from Lithonia Industrial Boulevard there in Lithonia, trying to get through the work zone passing Panola Road. Traffic lights still on the blink in northeast Atlanta, Cheshire Bridge Road at Lindbergh Drive, or Cheshire Bridge Road right around La Vista Road, and make sure you treat that intersection as a 4-way stop. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms through the late afternoon and evening hours. High 79. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow drying out, though still partly to mostly cloudy. High 82. Partly cloudy on Sunday. Morning low 61. Afternoon high 83.
It is 71 degrees right now in Lithia Springs and Marietta. Loganville has 69 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
56 minutes till my weekend begins. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from right now, Deborah's going to give away a pair of tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Then just after the new news, going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000, just like this fella did last hour.
This is Zano from Jackson Lake, Georgia. And I just won $1,000 from WSB.
Yeah, that is the second best thing I've heard in the last 24 hours. The first best thing I've heard in the last 24 hours was this last night.
With the 15th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Walker.
They finally did it. They finally did it. Jared Yamamoto from the Von Hessler Doctrine joining us live in studio. Huge Falcons fan. Finally, my Uncle Arthur took my advice, draft a defensive stud from the University of Georgia.
Oh, my gosh. What a magical moment last night. And then also to get James Pierce Jr. as well in the first round. I mean, that was the best Falcons draft day since 2011 when we drafted Julio Jones. I am ecstatic right now. I loved what happened last night.
They didn't pick a QB.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was texting so many of my buddies last night. They were like, wow, it feels great to watch our franchise finally make the right moves.
Yeah, it was. I was hoping and praying that he would fall, and the chips fell perfectly, and then they made that pick. And then as soon as that happened, that was like 9:30. I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed now. I got to hear Roger Goodell say the name to the Falcons. I'm ecstatic. I go to sleep. I wake up. 3 Georgia Bulldogs, by the way, in your home with the dogs, taking the first round. But I was asleep when the Falcons traded up into the back into the first round to take that other pick. What are the quick details on that?
We ended up trading with the Los Angeles Rams for the 26th pick.
Okay.
We leveraged our first round pick next year and I believe a 7th round this year. So Terry Fontenot, the Falcons GM, he's leveraging his future. He is banking on the fact that the Falcons are going to win now.
So hopefully next year that first round pick will be the 32nd pick in the draft because the Falcons will win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. That's what we're all hoping for.
So again, I was asleep when this trade went down. I do love the pick. I think there's a ton of upside there. Did Falcons Nation react well to this trade?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean, that guy, so my wife is a Tennessee grad, so I've watched a ton of Tennessee games.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
James
Sweet
Pierce.
tea.
Yes. So she, again, we're the home of the dogs. I'm happy about the Jalen Walker pick more than
Yeah, that was
anything.
sick.
But James Pierce, do not sleep on that guy. He is a monster, and apparently he's just one of those people that's kind of just insane in the membrane.
Yeah,
so he's
exactly.
He's one of those crazy people, and you need to have that at edge in order to play in the
Defense
NFL.
is going to be crazy next year. One other thing before I let you go. The final Georgia Bulldog taken in the third round. And the first round. Third dog, first round was...
With the 27th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks,
Safety.
defensive back, Georgia.
So here I love that name, Malachi. I want to change my name. I think that's such a badass name.
Malachi Aram, I like that.
So I'm trying to get Vinny said he might name his first son Malachi.
Okay.
You and Tina. Malachi Yamamoto, would you be opposed to that?
What if we do like the multiple middle names? It used to be really
Okay,
popular
yeah.
in the South to have four total names. You have your first 2 middle names and a last name. Can I do that for you?
Well, listen, I'm just looking. I mean, you and Sweet Tea are going to have gorgeous kids, very successful. You're both really attractive and intelligent and talented. Malachi Yamamoto, that's a that's a senator's name right there. You can hit so many different backgrounds and ethnicities. Malachi Yamamoto.
I like it. I'm going to run it by the wife. I know that she's got, I found in her notes app, all the baby names. So I can only punt for so much longer, Aram. I can only be childless for so much
and
longer.
To be honest, Malachi not far from Malacca.
That's
true. It's close there.
That fits with the Greek side of things.
Yeah. Well, I'm very happy for Dog Nation, 3 first-round
Yes.
picks. I'm very happy for Falcons Nation. Finally got it right. While you're here, what's coming up on the Von Hessler Doctrine today?
Oh, we got to tune in and find out. I know we're definitely going to be talking about the NFL draft for sure.
Yeah.
Eric was texting me in the middle of it, too. He was excited about the Jalen Walker pick.
Yeah, it's
and
huge.
I'm sure we got a bunch of other fun things set up and ready to go.
Does Eric text often?
Yeah.
All right.
It just depends on what it is. So
I get 3 texts a year from Von Hessler. I get Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Those are the only 3 texts I get from him all year.
Now, I will say he's very direct in his text. So
Okay.
there's not like a follow-up question a lot of times. Like, for example, in the with the NFL draft, he was like, wow, he put Jalen Walker, exclamation point. I said, I know. I can't believe we did it. And then he's like, it's about time the Falcons drafted a UGA player. And that was it. That was the rest of the
So
of the
he'll text me, hey, Happy Thanksgiving, Aram. And I'm like, Happy Thanksgiving, Von Hessler. What are you guys doing? And then he just doesn't answer.
I'm surprised he doesn't give you the thumbs up emoji. That's his favorite.
Oh, is it? I use that a lot.
He
too.
loves the
the
thumbs
older
up
generation, like Eric and I. We love the thumbs up.
That is perceived to be condescending by Gen Z now.
Is it really?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So
interesting.
Letting you a little insight into Gen Z.
So obviously, Jared hasn't planned out the show yet to give a proper tease of what's coming up on the Von Hessler Doctrine.
Definitely some
37.
NFL draft.
But you are giving away a chance for win $1,000 in
That's
the 5K
right.
day bonus blitz. What time do you guys do it?
We do it at Eric gives his first giveaway at 2:00 and then at 5:00 as well too. So 2:00 and 5:00. You go to the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash for your chance to win $1,000.
There you go. Just like Zano. Was that his name? Zano? I'm going to play that audio again. I love giving away free money. Zano in Jackson.
This is Zano.
Zano.
Jackson Lake, Georgia.
Zano
and I just
Malaki.
won $1,000 on WSB.
Awesome. All right, Jared. Good to see you, my friend. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. You as well, man. And go Falcons.
Yeah, that was Go Falcons, Go Dogs. Fantastic draft for everybody. Malachi Yamamoto, future president of the United States. Speaking of the president and Steve Witkoff trying to negotiate some sort of a ceasefire deal between Ukraine and Russia. Frederick Pleiken in Moscow this morning.
We're actually right outside the Kremlin walls, where we believe that meeting is going to take place between Steve Witkoff and Russian leader Vladimir Putin. And you guys were already talking about the fact that a convoy was seen speeding here through Moscow, that the Russians certainly believe Steve Witkoff is in. But we also saw Vladimir Putin's convoy this morning speeding towards the Kremlin as well, obviously also getting ready for that meeting. We don't believe that meeting is underway just yet. We don't even believe that Steve Witkoff is inside the Kremlin yet, but we do believe that is going to start very soon. And of course, one of the things that we know from the U.S., from the Trump administration, is that they believe that this might not be a make it or break it moment in this whole process, but it certainly is a very key time and comes at a key time. Now, the Russians, this does come in the form of the foreign minister, as you say, are saying that they believe that the process, that the talks are on the right track, but that there are still very important issues that need to be sorted out. I want to listen in to what the foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, had to say. Let's listen in.
The president of the United States believes, and I think rightly so, that we are moving in the right direction. The statement by the president mentions a deal, and we are ready to reach a deal, but there are still some specific points, elements of this deal which need to be fine-tuned.
So still some elements that need to be fine-tuned, as the Russian foreign minister there put it. The Russians really not offering much in the way of details of what exactly those elements might be, but there are two complexes that they do keep talking about. One of them, of course, is territories, with the Russians wanting to keep almost all, if not all, of the territories that they've taken inside of Ukraine. And then, of course, there is that question of any sort of future membership in NATO of Ukraine, which the Russians say that absolutely to them that would be a red line. But one of the things, Sarah, that we also have to keep in mind as Steve Witkoff gets ready to meet with Vladimir Putin today is that for the Russians, the whole question of Ukraine is only one of the complexes they want to deal with. Ultimately, the big thing for them would be a normalization of relations with the United States and, of course, sanctions relief on a massive scale as well.
Frederick Pleiken in Moscow this morning. Obviously, a big story we're going to follow throughout the day and the weekend here on 95.5 WSB. President Trump obviously growing very frustrated. He thought this would be a simple fix, the Russia-Ukraine war, and you saw him on Truth Social yesterday saying, Vladimir, no. Interesting to note, Deborah, I got this from, I think this was on CNN last night. So Witkoff, who has become the envoy of all envoys for the Trump administration, right? He's been dealing with Iran and Israel and Hamas and now Russia, Ukraine. He's like the chief diplomat negotiator. He's in Moscow negotiating, as Frederick Pleiken just mentioned. And Vladimir Putin, I think this is a baller move. He commissioned what Putin is saying, Russia's finest artist, to paint a portrait of President Trump.
Oh.
Yeah, so remember President Trump was not happy with that portrait that was up in Colorado or whatever. So Putin said he hired the finest artist in Russia to paint a portrait of President Trump, and he presented it to Witkoff, and Witkoff's going to bring it back to the White House for President Trump. That's a badass move. That's a baller move, right?
All I can think of is that picture of George Costanza with the big bow in the coat. That's what's going in my head.
I'm thinking of the Kramer portrait, the picture of Kramer. But anyway, so and they asked the artist. I think it was actually Fred Pleiken talked to the artist and said, what was your inspiration? He's like, the bravery that President Trump showed after the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. So I mean, Putin knows what he's doing, right? Dude's a former KGB. He's like, after President Trump blasted him on Truth Social, he's like, oh, here's a portrait from Russia's finest artist. I thought that was a baller move. We'll see what goes back. So there is a limit on what we can get from Russia right now. Russian vodka is generally considered the best in the world, I think. I only drink brown liquor, but it's generally considered that. I never thought about drinking Siberian water, though. This is a fascinating story, Deborah. The Fine Water Society. People are paying a lot of money to drink rare waters from around the world. Did I read this story right?
Yeah, it's something I didn't know of until today. But more and more people are becoming teetotalers, especially like younger generations. They don't drink at all. So here comes the Fine Water Society, and they're actually having a big party award ceremony here in Atlanta this weekend. Now, the founder, his name is Michael. He claims that water, and not bottled water or tap water, but water is actually the next great thing to wine. Its distinctive characteristics depending on where it's sourced. So think of like a glacier versus, you ever seen like the Fiji water?
Yeah.
It talks about a spring water. And so these are the waters. It's not just like the stuff that you're going to pick up at a grocery store. It's very specific waters. There's even water sommeliers. And if you want to check it out, it's a free free event this weekend at the Sylvan Hotel in Buckhead Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is there a cost to this? Do you have to pay a cover charge? Does it say how much the water costs?
It's free to attend. I don't know if you want to do any taste testing, because that might cost you something, but it also depends on the water that they're serving. But I looked at some of the samples, and I mean, you're talking like hundreds to $1,000s for these samples of water, not even like a bottle. Like I would grab it and chug it the way I do the plastic bottles, but that's not what it's meant for.
I know it's just in my head, but I think Fiji water is the best bottled water because I don't know whether it's the marketing, the bottle shape, or whatever. But when you're in Vegas playing poker, you get waters for free during the World Series of Poker. And I'll get like 2 at a time from the server. I'll be like, let me get 2 Fijis. Because they're expensive, but they're free when you're playing in the World Series of Poker. I'm like, let me get 2 Fijis. Let me get 2 I would be nervous drinking water. Like some of these waters have just been released from glaciers in like the Arctic, and you don't know what kind of ancient dinosaur bacteria is in there, right? It's going to start a new pandemic. He's like, how did the pandemic start? Oh, Aram had glacial water in Buckhead at the Society of Water. What is it? Fine Water
Society.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Another free event it's not free to drink the water, but you can check out the event at the Sylvan. And the younger generation, I don't know about teetotalers because Yoki's knocking those 30 racks back. I didn't even know that was a term, 30 rack. Apparently,
wow.
That's 30 cans of beer in one box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yoki and his 30 rack. All right, let's check the drive around town. Live with the exclusive report, the incomparable Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, right now I'm watching pothole repair right by the home of the Braves, 75 southbound, right on the beginning of the ramp to I-285, exit 259. They're working in the left lane, so that is quickly slowing the ride back through Marietta. Good news is the northbound construction that was in the right lane, right around North Marietta Parkway, that has cleared out of the right lane, so everything back open heading up into Marietta and Kennesaw. And DOT says there's a right lane stall in DeKalb. Not surprised here. It's in that work zone, I-20 westbound, past Panola Road, exit 71. That slows you out of Lithonia. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
World leaders head to Rome.
President Trump plans to attend the funeral for the Pope.
The Pope lies in state.
He'll lie in state at St. Peter's Basilica for 3 days.
And the preparations are underway for the world to say goodbye to Pope Francis.
Pope Francis died Monday after suffering a stroke.
The funeral of Pope Francis. Live coverage begins tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com. click on Portfolio X-Ray or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
30 years ago today, one of my favorite albums of all time dropped. Keep it playing, Drip. Oh, I can't say the bad words. This is the clean version, right? Yes. This is Shook Ones Part 2 from Mobb Deep. The album that came out 30 years ago today, Deborah. The infamous from Mobb Deep. One of the most played albums in my life. I can't believe it's been 30 years.
Wow.
30, yeah. I was still in college when this came out. My Mazda 626, tinted windows. Just blaring this. One of my top albums of all time. 7 years ago, Prodigy from Mobb Deep passed away. I'm going to play a little Flashback Friday audio here. the morning after Prodigy passed away. Fred Blankenship and I paying tribute on Channel 2 Action News this morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Fred Blankenship. The time is now 7:06. Right now we have Mark Arum, our traffic prodigy.
Good morning, everyone. Just heard from a traffic trooper heading out of Noonan. Last name English, first name Old. Said 85 wide open.
It's now 7:26. I'm Fred Blankenship, and right now we have Mark Arum and Triple Team Traffic. Mark, it's mob deep out there right now on I-20 with delays.
The outer loop delays into DeKalb County 285 northbound, leaving Glenwood Road, trying to get up to trouble at Lawrenceville Highway.
Karen, thank you. Some shook ones right now on I-75. Mark Arum is standing by with more on this.
Now beyond the block, hustling, counting my stacks. Those trip times counting up to 27 minutes now. Look at Traffic Tracker 2. No brake lights here. Just a lot of folks pushing Lexuses wearing fat diamond rings, but delay-free in and out of Midtown. All alone in these streets, cousin. Very light volume here. 75 north and south at Howell Mill Road. It's a new trouble on the west side of town. 6 blocks, and he might not make it through. What's blocked right now, Mark McKay? You leave the house this morning and head to work. There's numerous ways you can choose to earn funds, but no delays getting to the workplace out of McDonough. Yeah, Fred, you know Atlanta traffic, survival of the fit, only the fit survive. We've been dealing with trouble on the west side of town. Yeah, Fred, wild on the streets. I try to maintain the latest snag heading south on 85. Anytime you want traffic info, it's on Twitter. You tweeting me, I'm tweeting right back at you. It's at WSB Traffic.
Mark, you are the man.
I'm about to cash a 50.
How did we get away with that? How did we? I mean, people loved it. Yeah.
It's that, don't you? You don't miss traffic.
I
but
don't
you
miss
that.
doing the, but I do miss dropping, especially when we lose someone like Prodigy, because the line was, "You bucking me, I'm bucking right back at you," and I said, I flipped it. You tweeting me, I'm tweeting right back at you. Vinny didn't know I had skills like that. So 30 years ago today, the infamous Mobb Deep album popped. All right, we got some breaking news out of Wisconsin. FBI Director Kash Patel has announced the arrest of a Wisconsin judge. A judge arrested by the FBI. We'll update that story. Deborah's got some tickets to give away to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett. And we'll head back to the White House, get the latest on the Russia-Ukraine talk. So much more to do. Final half hour, the Mark Arum Show. Coming up next.
City of Hope, a place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful program in the U.S., making major breakthroughs in treating leukemia, lymphoma, and rare blood cancers, personalizing a treatment plan right down to your DNA. Now the experts striving to make the impossible a reality are closer to home. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us, and we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Your home's exterior really needs an update, but the economy is uncertain. No worries. Superior Pro is committed to low prices and high quality with American-made windows, siding, painting, doors, and more. Now, we're making it easier with this special offer. Purchase siding from Superior Pro and get half off the painting. And always an extended labor warranty. Schedule at superiorpro.com.
Superior Pro, the pros to know.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic,
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Happening now in Dunwoody. Police searching for a driver who they say intentionally ran over a man outside the Bird Restaurant on Ashford Dunwoody Road early this morning. According to police, a fight broke out in the bar between a couple and another man. All three ordered to leave that bar. Michael Cheek with Dunwoody Police telling us.
As that gentleman and his girlfriend were leaving the restaurant, as soon as they stepped into the parking lot, a vehicle drove and willfully struck the male, causing him serious injuries.
That victim's at Grady in critical but stable condition right now. A search underway for the driver. So far, no description of the vehicle has been given. All right, your weather for today. Cloudy skies, some scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms late this afternoon with a high of 79, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. The Red Cross working with 6 families this morning forced out of their home after an apartment fire in DeKalb County. Firefighters say 8 units at the Ashbury apartment homes on Flat Shoals Road suffered damage. Now, investigators believe the fire started in the basement and then reignited hours later after firefighters put out the first one. The exact cause still under investigation. No injuries have been reported. Well, on his way to Rome this morning, President Trump was asked about his recent communication with China's president.
You said you spoke with President Xi. Have you spoken to him since the tariffs? When did you last
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times.
The president also asked about the war in Ukraine.
We're meeting with Putin right now as we speak, and we have a lot of things going on, and I think in the end we're going to end up with a lot of good deals.
The president will attend the funeral mass for Pope Francis tomorrow. He will be among more than 50 world leaders at the service tomorrow. FBI Director Kash Patel has announced the arrest of a Wisconsin judge with accusations that the judge helped and may have advised a suspected undocumented migrant avoid arrest at the courthouse. Specifics are yet to come on Judge Hannah Dugan. Scott McFarland has more on this unusual case.
The FBI Director Kash Patel says he's arrested the judge with the prospect of a charge of obstruction of law enforcement.
And we will bring you more on this developing story as we get it. Apple is moving away from China and plans to import most of the iPhones that it sells to the United States from India by the end of next year. President Trump's tariffs and Beijing-Washington tensions pushing Apple to make the shift. And a new electric vehicle startup backed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is on the horizon. It's called Slate Auto. It'll be headquartered in Michigan. And it made its debut last night at a design studio in Long Beach, California, promising electric trucks for under $20,000 with a federal tax credit. Now, these trucks are low tech. They have windows that you actually have to manually roll down, and there's no informational screen inside the truck. The company planning to build its trucks in Indiana. The basic model can go about 150 miles on a charge. They're expected to be on sale next year. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 222 at 39,877. So the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ is up almost 0.5%, and the S&P is in negative territory. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Some good news, bad news for our commuters in Marietta coming down toward I-285 in Truist Park. We had the pothole repair on the 75 South ramps to I-285 in the left lane. That has cleared, but now behind it we have a crash in the left lane, 75 southbound, Delk Road exit 261, so that's going to keep the ride slow through Marietta. Don't forget the covered bridge, Concord Road, that is shut down. They got hit earlier this morning, so avoid that if you can. And big jam in DeKalb County, I-20 westbound, leaving them all at Stonecrest. Stall in the right lane past Panola Road, exit 71. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Today's high is 79. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow drying out, partly to mostly cloudy, high 82. Sunshine for Sunday, morning low 61, afternoon high 83.
Mostly cloudy and 70 degrees in Chamblee, 71 in Cartersville. Canton has 69 degrees right now. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
The FBI Director Kash Patel says he's arrested the judge with the prospect of a charge of obstruction of
breaking
law
news out of Wisconsin. We'll update that. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett next on the Mark Arum Show.
Well, I bet it is safe to say you are sick and tired of home services companies that don't show up on time, don't get it right, ghost you then when you need them later. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. I don't have to worry about any of that because I only trust TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. TE Certified is a well-oiled machine with the highest level of communication and follow-up. They're on time, friendly, and fully stocked.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. What makes them my experts? Well, for starters, when you have Ben Hill Renovations upgrading your outdoor living space, you're dealing with professionals. You have a company building to code, current and future. You have a company pulling permits when needed, with a dedicated project manager for every job, superior craftsmanship from over 60-plus years of experience, and all backed by their workmanship warranty. Whether you want a screened-in porch, an outdoor living area, a multi-story wraparound deck, or just a simple deck with a set of stairs, Ben Hill Renovations has you covered. Plus, they offer multiple financing options, up to 18 months, no interest with affordable monthly payments. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com and set up an appointment, or visit their showroom and speak with a designer. You won't be disappointed. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964. Looking to get organized in style? The brand new Artisan Custom Closet showroom is now open near Trillet Studios in Fayetteville. Come experience the Artisan difference. Meet with a designer for your free consultation and start your custom project today. See more at artisancustomclosets.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Keep packing animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. I was so tired at the start of the show, and I've just got this. I think it was giving away $1,000. It put some step in my pep, vig in my, I don't know. But I'm excited. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Got some breaking news in Wisconsin and from the court systems on deportations. But first, let's continue to give back to the listeners. Deborah, what do we have right now, my friend?
How about a pair of tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett? It's a Nice Day to Tour Again tour. That is Friday, May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater.
Oh, such a good concert. I wish I could go. I wish I could win the tickets, but they're saved for you, dear friends. Ninth caller to 404-872-0750. Ninth caller to Lil Gnocchi at 404-872-0750 wins an amazing pair of tickets to see not only Billy Idol, but Joan Jett as well. May 9th, Ameris Bank Amphitheater. I know a lot of folks will be at the amphitheater tomorrow to see Yacht Rock Review, so enjoy that show. Sadly, I cannot make it, Deborah. I've got some friends coming in from Wisconsin for a baseball card convention, so I'm not going to be able to see Yacht Rock. But I saw him in the little private live lounge show, which was phenomenal.
Performance.
Yes, what a great performance that was. Speaking of Wisconsin, breaking news in the last couple of minutes, FBI Director Kash Patel has announced the arrest of a Wisconsin judge with accusations that Judge Hannah Duggan helped and may have advised a suspected undocumented migrant avoid arrest at the courthouse. Specifics are still to come. Here's CBS News' Scott McFarland.
The FBI director on social media has announced the arrest of a local judge in Milwaukee. Her name is Hannah Duggan. elected about 8 or 9 years ago in Wisconsin. The FBI is alleging that she helped reroute somebody who was in her court who the feds were trying to detain on an immigration issue.
Oh, interesting. So we'll follow that story out of Wisconsin. Again, Scott McFarland, FBI Director Kash Patel has arrested a Wisconsin judge accusing her of helping a suspected undocumented migrant avoid arrest at the courthouse. That story just popping up in the last couple of minutes, as is this story from the courts. A federal judge has ordered President Trump and the administration to return another migrant who was deported to El Salvador. CBS's Willie James Inman has the details.
This is the case of a 20-year-old Venezuelan man who was living in Maryland who had a pending asylum application. Now, a federal district judge saying this essentially violates a settlement agreement that allows for migrants who have a pending asylum application to not be deported. So this federal judge ordering the Trump administration to facilitate this man's return.
All right, again, this is all going to wind up in front of the Supreme Court again, but interesting develop there. Another migrant has been ordered back from El Salvador to the United States of America. I want to continue our coverage of the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire talks. This you're going to hear right now from Sergei Lavrov. You recognize his voice. He is the Russian foreign minister. He was on CBS's Face the Nation with moderator Margaret Brennan. Let's listen to Sergei Lavrov here.
Unlike some others, we never discuss in public what is being discussed in negotiations. Otherwise, negotiations are not serious. To ask for somebody's opinion regarding the substance, go to Zelensky. He is happy to talk to anybody through media, even to President Trump.
So that's Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, saying, hey, we're not going to negotiate in public. That's not the way we do it, which might explain why details have been scant thus far in any Russia-Ukraine talks. Again, Wyckoff is in Moscow right now, leading those talks with the Kremlin. Let's go back to the White House. Elena Treen with the latest on the Russia-Ukraine talks.
Well, I think the main things, particularly when it relates to this, potential deal between Russia and Ukraine, is exactly what the president views that deal looking like. And this is what he told Time. He said, quote, Crimea will stay with Russia. He also added that he thinks what caused the war to start, as quote, was when they started talking about joining NATO, obviously referring to Ukraine. Now, of course, these comments in line with some of what he said yesterday, where he said one of the biggest concessions that Russia would be giving up would be stopping the war altogether and not taking over the entire country. I mean, these types of comments are not the type of comments that Ukraine and the United States European allies have been wanting to hear. And it doesn't really ease their concerns that perhaps President Donald Trump is willing to give away more than they are when it comes to dealing with Russia. But look, we also have some new reporting today, Pamela, about how the president is feeling about this behind the scenes. And you're exactly right. We're told that he's been frustrated behind closed doors and telling some of his advisors that this deal has been harder to negotiate than he had anticipated. And we're kind of starting to see some of that frustration boil over as the 100-day mark is quickly approaching. And that's really the deadline that he's told his team he wanted this deal done by.
And he also talked about relations with Iran.
All right, that was Elena Treen at the White House with the latest on the Russia-Ukraine talks. Again, President Trump probably over the Atlantic right now. He took off in Air Force One heading to the papal funeral, which is set for tomorrow. It will start at 4 a.m., and we will bring it to you live at 4 a.m. right here on 95.5 WSB. I'm all about, honoring and respecting the Pope, Deborah, but I'm going to DVR that. Unless I have stomach issues or the dogs need to go out, I don't plan to be up at 4 in the morning.
A little too early for you.
Yeah. I would imagine as the most devout Catholic that I know that you'll be up, though, watching that.
I'll be up. I'm always up at that time. So
I'm sorry we couldn't get you to Rome.
That's okay. With the selfie people out there, I don't know that I would be so offended. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. But anyway, the rest in peace, Pope Francis. And then that's what I got to do this weekend, Deborah. Conclave. It's on Amazon Prime, by the way. I found out yesterday. Because they're going to conclave right after this, right?
Yep.
All the cardinals are going to get to vote on the next pope. So that's what I'm going to do, is watch conclave this weekend. So I'm ready and prepped to follow the conclave voting. No, I want it.
It's not going to be quite that way.
I understand.
I've seen the movie. There's a big twist at the end, but
All right. And yeah, all right. So I'm going to DVR the coverage of the Pope because I do want to see. You know how much I enjoy these historic moments, right? It's not often we get to see the pomp and the circumstance of a papal funeral, or like when the Queen died. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or when King Charles was.
Did you go to the Vatican when you were there?
We did not.
No, just too busy.
Well, it was our honeymoon, and we did a lot. We were based in Rome. But we did a lot of trips out of Rome. So we went to Florence. And so we just, as much as I would love to do it, but we'll save stuff for the next time. I will be there. I'll get back to Rome. We did go see the Colosseum. By the way, quick follow-up. Earlier in the show, I was talking about, Deborah told us the story. There's archaeological proof that lions were eating gladiators at the Colosseum. And I mentioned Gladiator 2 and the Colosseum scenes there. Chicken Lips 1947. Oh, God, I love Twitter. Says that they were baboons with alopecia in Gladiator 2.
Wow.
It was like they were fierce, but I was like, what are those? Apparently, they were baboons with alopecia in Gladiator 2. Deborah, I think prom season's over, but I love a good prom story. This one's not a good prom story, though. What can you tell us?
I mean, I know how you feel about prom, but it is a rite of passage for high school students. Sure. And it's prom for some kids still, but this one thing didn't go so well for a girl at Johnson High School in Hall County. She asked a boy but was turned down, and I guess after that she decided to post threats to her school on Snapchat. Now, luckily, the GBI were quick to see it, tracked her down. They did determine that they were not credible. She was just upset and made them as a joke, not a joke at all with everything that's been going on. She was just really jilted. So she is going to be charged as a juvenile and could be charged with terroristic threats. And she won't be able to go to prom.
Oh, that's awful. I respect her, though, for asking a dude to go to the prom, right? Listen, I know how tough it is as a guy to ask a girl to go to the prom. But for a girl to have the stones to ask a dude and then get rebuffed, but you can't be making terroristic threats. Vinny, you're the closest to prom season, being the youngest member of the crew today. Did you go to prom? Did you ask? Were you asked? What's the deal?
I went to prom. I did a promposal. You ever heard of the promposal?
Hey, I don't want to hear about that. I know what it is. And they said yes?
Yes.
All right.
I went with the same girl 2 years in a row. It was a great time.
All right. Oh, I love that you said so. Speaking of proposals, not a promposal. Have you ever heard about a fake proposal, Vinny? Just to get free stuff. This is a fascinating story, Deborah.
How far would you go to score some free drinks? A couple posted on TikTok how a husband fake proposed to his wife at a busy restaurant in order to score some freebies. Now, many of the patrons sent over free drinks. The couple has been married for 4 months. Some are calling it stealing. Others are calling it brilliant.
Why didn't I think of that? Especially some of the sushi dinners that Maya and I go to, Deborah, that's like the bill is outrageous. Like fake propose to Maya so we get our meal comped or something.
Well, now you got something to do this weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm watching Conclave, and I'm going to fake propose to Maya at dinner. I love that. I mean, that's dastardly, but it's very creative. Hey, congrats to Kenny Incoming. He won a pair of tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett at Ameris Bank Amphitheater May 9th, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show. Your next chance to win $1,000 in the 5K Day bonus splits coming up after the new news. Coming up next, of all the things you could steal, I can't believe what this guy stole. You're not going to believe it either. But first, let's check the ride around town. Live to the traffic center and Alex Williams.
Better news in Marietta. Crash just pushed off to the right. 75 southbound at Delk Road, exit 261. Still a little sluggish as you come down from Highway 5. Still jammed up into cab with that right lane stall. 20 westbound past Panola Road. You slow from the mall at Stonecrest. And the crash, 285 northbound, the outer loop ramp to Memorial Drive, exit 41. That as well has been pushed off to the right there, heading up toward Clarkston. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition, being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
If you've been in a wreck, trust the strong arm, John Foy and Associates. Hey, it's Smiler Mark McKay. I personally recommend John Foy since I've had the pleasure of personally getting to know him. We've been to a Braves game together, had lunch, and what I've taken away from each of our visits is respect. Respect for how much he cares and wants to help people. John Foy's compassion is what I appreciate. Trust isn't a given, it's earned, and John Foy has earned my trust. I recommend John Foy and Associates at johnfoy.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Looking for a great dining memory, y'all? Hey, it's Belinda. I love the amazing Southern food and service at Old Vinings Inn. If you haven't been there yet, you're missing out. Nestled in the heart of Vinings, that charming house offers a cozy, upscale, and welcoming atmosphere, perfect for any occasion. Romantic dinner, baby or bridal shower, business dinner, night out with friends. Old Vinings Inn has you covered. Indulge in delectable Southern cuisine, crafted with the freshest ingredients. Savor their signature fried green tomatoes and fried chicken, or delight in the rich flavors of my favorite, shrimp and grits. Everything on the menu is a winner. You thirsty? The curated wine list and handcrafted cocktails are sure to impress. Enjoy all that plus live entertainment and specials at the Attic Bar. Wednesday through Saturday nights. Ready for fun and flavor now, y'all? Open for lunch and brunch Thursday through Sunday and dinner Wednesday through Saturday. Reserve your table or large groups today at Old Vinings Inn.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard joining Medi-Share can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Looking to get organized in style? The brand new Artisan Custom Closet showroom is now open near Trilla Studios in Fayetteville. Come experience the Artisan difference. Meet with a designer for your free consultation and start your custom project today. See more at artisancustomclosets.com.
It's the NRA Annual Meetings and Exhibits at the World Congress Center, April 25th to 27th. 14 acres of guns and gear. A freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. Tickets just $10. NRA members get in free. Visit nratickets.com.
Turn the mic on, Aram. 11:54 here on the Mark Aram Show. Coming up after the new news, I am going to give you a chance to win $1,000 again. How about this? 45 years ago today, you heard this on WSB Radio.
It was my decision to attempt the rescue operation. It was my decision to cancel it when problems developed in the placement of our rescue team. The responsibility
President
is fully
Jimmy
my
Carter
own.
on the failed mission to rescue those American hostages. And 3 years ago today, our digital world changed.
It's really important that people have the reality and the perception that they're able to speak freely within the bounds of the law.
Elon Musk bought Twitter 3 years ago today for roughly $44 billion. All right, Deborah, crime story that I did not expect to hear. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a not a smart criminal, but in fact a... Tell me about it, Deborah.
Okay, this is out of Houston. It happened just a couple days ago. I'm sure you've driven by a construction site or two, and you always see a porta potty there, right, for the crew that's
Yes.
working there. Well, somebody decided to stop in the middle of the night. It was around 10 o'clock at night, and steal the porta potty. They pushed it off of the construction site, and a couple minutes later, a pickup truck came, and they loaded it into the back of the truck and drove away.
A used construction site porta potty.
Mm-hmm.
That's how desperate times are. That's a dumb criminal. I don't even have to explain why. That's a dumb criminal. From a dumb criminal to a smart fact of the day.
Longoria's fact of the day.
It is National Barber Day.
Oh, shout out to Yuri, Vintage Barber Shop. Go ahead.
Shout out to your barbers. If you don't usually tip your barber today. I don't know if this applies to
You always tip the
salons.
barber.
I don't tip.
What?
Is that against? I don't tip.
Anywhere or just barbers?
Barbers.
Oh, Vinny, we got to talk. Deborah, tell him. You got to tip the barber.
Vince, you need to tip your barber for sure.
You're going to be barred from the barber shop.
Some days.
No,
like
not
when
some.
I really need it.
All right, Vinny.
Look how good you look.
If I used to get my hair cut before I found Yuri at Vintage Barbershops, it was $20 at Great Clips to get my hair cut. What do you think I tipped on $20?
10?
$20, 100% tip.
$20?
Yeah. Tip you're gonna want to make them mad?
I mean,
Tip
their
them, Vinny.
prices-
We'll talk off the air. People don't want to hear that. Tip your barber. All right, let's do some stars of the show before we get out of here. Here.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
Well, Vinny just lost star of the show for not tipping his barber. Sometimes. Lil Gnocchi, though, he gets a star of the show. He told us about the BOGO, Chunky Soup BOGO at Publix. Deborah, phenomenal job as always. Caleb Silver from Investopedia. Tom Dempsey from News Nation joined us live at the White House. He gets a star of the show, as does political analyst Bill Crane. Jared Yamamoto from the Von Hessler Doctrine coming in to talk Falcons. He gets a star of the show. And Zano from Jackson won $1,000. Congrats, man. I'm happy to fill your wallet. I bet Zano tips his barber. Next week on the show, we got a lot of big guests. State Senator Jason Estevez, Christy Brinkley, Greg Bluestein's going to join us to talk politics, as is Stephen Lawson, Kim Commando, and the CEO of the Atlanta Track Club. Man, we got some good stuff next week, so make sure you tune in. Pope coverage tomorrow, 4 a.m. I hope you're listening. If you're up, don't get up, but if you're up, listen to the coverage here on WSB Radio. I will be active on social media all weekend long, at Mark Aram,